Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Show the gut to the side. Look at that thing, man. Like that, to me, looks like a PB. What do you think? That's going over 5. No, it's not 5, but holy crap. Dude. Damn right. That's a 4. Dude. Oh my god. Look at that. I have big hands. That thing's huge. Girthy. That's triple C thick.
Holy crap, I did it right. See, it worked. All right, trying something new. Let the intro and roll right into it, and it looks like everything worked great. I don't know what else is happening, but hopefully it's all good. Oh, what's going on, Brendan? Chris, how's everybody doing tonight?
Morning.
Right. Stop it. Take your sunglasses off. Is that new shades? Or are those backups?
Can I answer your question?
They're backups, people.
We'll tell you the story.
Yeah, Fritz Weatherby. I'll tell you the story. Gotta get this off the table, but a bit closer. There we go. That was cool. Hell yeah! Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Brian, how you doing, friend?
Hey, bud.
All right, we're gonna get into it. So, my wife even texted me. That was awesome. I threw that together last night. I don't know. I started making that intro like 3 or 4 months ago, and I just never got around to it. And now we got the stream deck. Thank you all, by the way. I finally was like, oh, right, now I can actually do the intro thing, and it's going to work out great, and I'm excited. So, and it'll be good for when this all goes live on YouTube, too. So now people don't have to filter through like first 10 minutes of just nothingness, and then, everything's mint. So, rolling into it, how's everybody doing tonight? We have a lot to discuss, not only about the tournament we just fished, but tournament fishing in general. So, before we get into it, a couple things. One, for everybody that has donated so far, thank you very much. Cannot even begin to explain how much that means to us. What we've done so far, like we put 100% of this all back into the streams at this point. And as you can tell, now we have a new goal down there. So what we just did recently was I bought the stream deck, which allows me to, though it's not set up entirely yet, go ahead and add like things to the screen just by clicking this nifty little buttons in front of me. It allowed me to do that intro thing, and it fades into the stream perfectly, the whole 9 yards. So hugely helpful. Next goal is we're going to take and reinvest into the channel even further, but on the boat side of things with more new GoPros. New sponsor, GoPro, awesomeness. But still expensive. And so what I want to do is get 3 new GoPros and eventually go to 5 after that. But what that will allow us to do is I can go 2.7K resolution, which is what I currently make all the videos at, but at 120 frames per second. So when we do slow-mo stuff, it's going to look buttery smooth. Even when playback at 60, it's not going to look all janky like it does now. So that is the plan for the next donations. So for those that, again, have donated, thank you very much. For those that want to, you can either do it here through YouTube. Down in the video description below, there's the account name for both our Venmo and PayPal. If you want to hit us there, by all means, we greatly appreciate it. For those that are here, let's see. Brendan, Chris, Brian, David, Tiago, Rouge Trader, Jason, Kevin, Andrew. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hey. Everybody that's every time, man. Every time. Everybody that's here, if you could do me a favor, really quick, hit like on it. And then, more than anything, for people that are watching this, like after the live stream, drop a comment. Like, I just want to see more comments in the videos, or either what you thought or more questions. I check it literally every day, multiple times a day. So I'm here to even elaborate further in the comments in the video below. Otherwise,
Oh, those are good.
let's get down to the brass tacks. Yeah, I needed more caffeine. I didn't have my second coffee today, so not a sponsor yet. Black Rifle Espresso Mocha. This thing is ridiculous.
Veteran owned. They're so good.
You brought one over like
A
4
while
months
ago,
ago, I
yeah.
think, and I was like, "Can I try it?" And I did. And I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's delicious."
I was buying these things by the freaking caseload.
I think I'm gonna switch from the Monster to this. It's delicious.
Yeah, they're wicked good.
Oh, all right. Let's see if I don't know if this audio is gonna play. We're gonna try it. I really hope that played. I'm trying to get an audio, and I couldn't get the graphic figured out. I got the Stream Deck last night. I didn't have time to really set it up the way I wanted to yet, but next week it'll be a lot more robust for what I can do. Andrew, thank you very much for the donation, buddy. Greatly appreciate it. Mark, Jamie, Dave, Rob, how y'all doing? So that's the plan for all that. I got my caffeine. We're ready to rock, buddy. I know, right? 200 milligrams of caffeine.
I had a 16-ounce Red Bull at the end of the day today. Still buzzing.
I had a giant, like my big Yeti iced
Yeah.
coffee this morning with an espresso shot in it, and then I followed that up with a Monster all before
Jesus
lunch.
Christ.
And then I was almost asleep because I had a customer meeting. It was a long day. Didn't get my old man nap at lunch.
I got to finish reassembling a side by side that we're building at work, and the thing is nasty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, can't
Thing's
wait to
sick.
see it. Is it the blue one?
it's black and blue.
Yeah, that's
They
the one.
just posted it
Yeah,
today.
I commented on it. I want that with the 4-door
Mm-hmm.
someday.
That's
eventually.
the RR too. That's the fast one. Big turbo noises. Thing's sick.
All right. Without further ado, let's recap this weekend. Crack chase with Red Bull. Yeah, very, very true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you start. Break down where we were, who we were fishing with, the whole 9 yards.
So we did a tournament this weekend, if you don't know, up for the Berkshire Bass guys, which the tournament, how everything was laid out was awesome. It was just a fun weekend with everybody. But we went up and we got an Airbnb on Lake St. Catherine out in Vermont. It was a 2-day tournament, so day one was on Lake Bomoseen,
Bomoseen, not Bomo,
and
Bomo.
day two was on Lake St. Catherine. We well, you want me to just go right into it?
Oh yeah, dude.
So day one
Where's my mouse?
started off.
Don't mind me.
It started off good. Like we got to the spot we wanted to be, and there was nobody else on it, and that was pretty much the best thing that happened all day.
Yeah.
Well, he caught one good,
4.34.
4.34.
I ain't gonna forget that number.
Smallmouth, and that was the biggest fish we caught all day. The rest of them we didn't get a limit. It was just extremely tough. The weather did not play as nicely as the weatherman said it was going to play.
Well, I'll tell him. So I'll tell him forecast, and you can tell him reality.
Okay.
Forecast was 10 to 20 miles an hour, sustained. Actually, I think it said 10 to 15.
10 to 15 with 25 mile an hour gusts.
Gusts. Yeah. What was the actuality once it hit?
Sustained 30 to 35, maybe 40, with gusts well over 50.
There was a
All
couple
day.
of gusts that like legitimately almost pushed me over. That was by far the worst wind I've ever fished in. There's one other day that came really close where it was supposed to be sustained 40 with upwards of 50 mile an hour gusts. I did that solo. I had a day off. It was like 3 or 4 years ago, but it was only on a 100-acre pond, so it didn't matter.
Right. This was not on 100-acre ponds.
No, it was on 20 times that.
Yeah. It was just very tough to even just fish. You could barely even throw a drop shot. You know, I don't even think they were really touching the bottom. I don't know. It wasn't fun. I mean, it was fun. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of stupid shit happened. But yeah, we ended the day with 7 pounds 3 ounces, I think. 7 pounds 4 ounces.
I never actually saw what the change was. I just kept calling it 7+ because for the life of me I couldn't remember what the exact weight was.
7 something pounds for 4 fish.
Not good.
Not good at all.
They actually reported it as 5 fish too. And I got a text from Mike Zamp, who we had on the show like several weeks ago. He's like, so how the hell exactly do you catch 5 fish for only 7 pounds? And one of them was 4.34. I was like, no, man, we only had 4. He's like, they said 5. I was like, I only weighed 4. I wish it were 5, but no, we only had 4.
Yeah. And then day 2 came around, and it was much better. The day started off, actually, well, DJ, I mean, if you guys seen the video of DJ flying, like blowing our doors off.
Oh, that was amazing.
In his Phoenix. Well, he was behind it. He was boat 9, we were boat 8. And I turned around. I was like, hey, we're going to go left here at this point so he could blow by us on the right.
Yeah, that way we didn't have to worry about crossing streams.
Right.
Never cross streams.
Yeah, never cross streams. Making sure that he wasn't coming up on our left, I turned back to look, and my brand new Oakley Deep Waters that I've been wearing for the last couple weeks, right off my head. I look back,
Right
I have my coffee in my hand, and I had my phone in my hand. I look back, I'm like, I see them on the back deck, I'm like, shit. And they just went right in. So that was the start to that. Thank God it wasn't sunny all day. And then what happened?
Well, we had actually a long talk Saturday night. I'm going to back up a little bit.
Yep.
About what everybody was going to be doing, right? So there was actually 3 groups of us. It was myself and Andrew, and then Alex and DJ and DJ's boat, and then John, Wicked Custom Rods, here in the chat, and our other buddy Sean were in Sean's boat. And John and Sean, I hate to say it, I'm sorry, guys. They had a really rough first day. So they were just kind of like, whatever, we're going to wing it. And then Alex and DJ were in 5th or 6th after day 1. Whatever, 5th or 6th. And we knew he was paying out to 4 places.
They were in 5th.
Okay, so we asked him, like, what's your game plan? And he told me where he was going on Lake St. Catherine. That's literally the spot I wanted to start. But I'm like, nope, all you, man. I mean, I'll probably join you later, but, like, you guys have a legitimate shot at making money at this, so go hammer it. So we were talking, and we're like, well, do we go fish the windblown side, or do we go fish this juicy point we know about? And Andrew's like, I really want to fish that juicy point. There's actually 2 potential juicy points, but they're on the southern end, so I was really concerned, like, all right, well, the wind's been blowing out of it, but that other one, that wouldn't be too bad. So, all right, let's do it. Because you didn't catch one on Sunday, so I was like, I'm going to do what makes him comfy.
I got skunked. He caught all the fish on Saturday. I caught
all 4 of them.
A crappie.
It's a big crappie, though. Dinner plate.
Yeah, suspended in 50 feet of water.
It was retarded. So, roll up to the first spot, and I don't remember the exact timing and everything, but I think we fished that spot for about 2.5 hours to start the day. Maybe, yeah, just a little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 to 2.5, call it that. And you caught one pretty quick, and then another one not too long after that, and they were both like okays. You know, like, I mean, not in the tournament okay. Like 1.5 to 2-ish pounds, maybe.
2 pounds. Yeah.
And then you caught probably the biggest fish of the day, that smallmouth, which I don't think we weighed the right one, because our lunker for the day was 3.41. But
I don't think that was bigger than that. I know it was.
You had one that was like 3 3/4.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't 4, but it was close.
It was a good fish. So and then I got short striked too many times, way too many times, and I was like, okay, it's fine, we'll work through it.
No, the net broke.
Right. Oh my God. Right. So on his 3rd fish, I go to net his fish, and as I'm scooping it up, all of a sudden it's ting. I have the Eagle slider net, so the handle is telescoping and it threads into the net head. Right. So the threaded portion is like the only, but it's like a solid metal. It's cast aluminum, and it sheared right there, like right where like the flange head meets the actual like threads portion, like right there. So, whatever, like, I like, not panicked, but I was like, whoa, I was taken aback. Like, I'm flailing about, trying to catch the head before it sinks. I knock my sunglasses off my head, but they float. So I'm like, I don't care about those. And, no, I knocked those off later.
Yep.
Anyway, so like, shit, broke the net. That sucks. What are we going to do? So, well, you still have like that much of the handle left. So I was like, I'll just grab it like that. And then you ended up catching your 4th fish later and made it work.
Yep.
But yeah, that was that. I don't want to go too much further because I don't want to jump ahead. But so that was the excitement of the first spot. I think I had 3 short strikes, and that was it. Like, not moving my jig, thump, and just like waiting for the follow up, and nothing happened. I don't know if it was a big perch or big crappie, or if it was smallmouth just being fickle. But nonetheless, I got 3 short strikes, no fish. Andrew catches 3. So moved to spot number 2, which is where DJ and Alex were
DJ was,
fishing.
yep.
And then you proceed to put fish number 4 in the boat. And that's when I grabbed the net by the head and I reached out, long armed it, scooped it. I was like, yeah, this will work.
Yeah. For a little bit.
For a little bit. Anyway, so how'd that second spot go?
The second spot went all right. We had a visitor. We had 2 visitors. We had the guy in the pontoon boat. So me and DJ, Sean, and in our boat, and DJ and Alex and DJ's boat. We're probably 150 feet from each other.
Roughly, yeah.
And we had this pontoon boat. We had the whole entire lake behind us, and this pontoon boat decided to cut right in at the point and go right between us.
Yeah, absolutely, 110% unnecessary.
Yeah.
I yelled over to Alex because I'm looking over. I'm like, he's going to come in between us. So I yell over Alex and DJ. I'm like, think he's going to do it? And Alex like, nah, man, he's not going to do it. And
sure enough,
just beeline, 0 deviation from his path. He's like, I want to go that way.
Just smiling. Asshole.
Yeah. Oh, I called him out on it too. I yelled.
Oh, yeah.
I yelled loud. I don't have any patience for that. It's completely unacceptable behavior, in my opinion. And then we had another visitor.
Yeah, he came. Guy in the tournament. He came in. And he just parked right in between us and caught, and I think he caught like 3 fish.
He did. And I had to be careful with this because
he made a post and he bragged.
He did. He bragged about catching fish in between an audience of people that couldn't catch these fish for hours. DJ and Alex were camped on this point literally the entire morning. So at this point, this is over 3 hours into the day. And I think at that point, Andrew and I had been fishing it. I want to say closer to 45 minutes, but at least a half an hour. Spot locked. What did we move? 50 feet from where we initially pulled up? Because there's some good rock piles we were working. And I knew Alex and DJ were working it, so I was like trying to stay back. And there's like multiple sets of rock piles, right? So they were on them or in between them. And like I saw they were casting that way. So again, like I know they're in it. We're just out there basically fun fishing at this point. We would have needed like a 30-pound bag to get money.
Yeah,
we were out of it. But like, okay, we're still trying to catch fish, like try and turn our day around. So we were like both boats casting. Like DJ was casting out front, and then him and Alex were casting towards us. We were casting towards them, like doing the same thing. And this guy basically beeline from the opposite shore, which is pretty far away, but not like super far away. Like you could see each other. It's like maybe 1,000 feet.
Yeah, maybe.
And just beeline right over and parked right between us, literally on the spot we were casting to. Like as he's pulling up, Andrew and I are still casting at it, and the guy just parked his boat right on top of it. So
it was annoying.
That really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Apparently, when there's money on the line, morals and sportsmanship go out the window. I don't want to say any more than that because I really want to talk to this guy. That bothered me. It really, really bothered me. I don't care that it's a tournament. What he did was completely unprofessional. It's not a matter of like, hey, he pulled up beside us, we're all casting to it. He literally parked his boat on the spot we were fishing. Like the whole time he's idling up, we're casting to the spot, and he parked his boat right there.
Yep, right on top of it, and they were just dropping straight down on the rock pile that we were fishing. Whatever.
Extremely unprofessional. But then again, we're not professionals, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't know. But so anyway, watched them catch 3 fish. And then we turned and we were like, well, I don't want to encroach any further on DJ because this guy clearly is. So we went.
It's funny because
north.
we ended up said, fuck it. We like kind of came around the front side of the point, kind of away from them. We're like, whatever, just get away and we'll go fish around here. I just thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? I want to catch a big fish right now. And I bombed my jig out. And I was just like, I really hope I catch a big fish right now. And sure enough, I think this was the fish that they weighed, that small. It was the 3-4 or something or whatever it was. And I caught that. And then I think we hooked into a couple other ones. Then that's when we motored up and went up the shoreline.
Right.
And we're working another deep offshore rock pile. And that's when you caught one small largie.
Well, dude, pre-fishing, I figured out that the smallmouth were really roaming. They weren't, in some areas they were absolutely locked down. In other areas they were just roaming. So we went to a spot that I caught like 2 good fish right there, 2 good smallies when we were pre-fishing. Second day I'd ever been on the lake, first time for him. We were scouting, and I had a big mark come by, dropped down with a drop shot, and they were doing this all 3 times we'd fished there. The day I scouted solo, the day we scouted together, and then the day of the tournament. They'd follow the drop shot down, but they wouldn't quite commit to it. And there was something I was doing different in my drop shot setup, because I know others were doing drop shot and it worked. But I found that if I ripped it up above their head, they'd follow it up and crush it. So that's what I was trying to make work happen. Drop it down. This is one of the first few lines, and it was a big mark. Goes right down. And I feel thunk. I'm like, oh, dude, buddy, finally. And I hooked in my first fish of the day. This was now the 6th bite I got all day. And about 4.5 hours into the day, I finally get my first fish. And it comes up, and it's a largemouth. It's like 12 1/4 inches.
Tiny, yeah. We put that in the box.
Yeah.
We did too.
On my very next cast, and this is where we get to have a little fun here showing off. I threw this out. We're gonna elaborate on colors and jigs and everything we went through to get to that. But that is an open water sniper with a twin tail grubble nut. It's basically like a spider jig on steroids. Is really what this profile looks like. Throw that out in the very next cast, and I went to lift up when the jig was really close to the boat, and I'm like, that's heavy. And I started reeling into it, but it was too close and it was coming up immediately that I couldn't set into it. I was terrified I was gonna just pull it out of its mouth, and I'm like, buddy, buddy, buddy.
Yeah.
So I saw it tail walk, and then I turned around to go hit spot lock on it, and apparently, because John told me what you told him, it jumped when I turned my back. And then I turned around, and as Andrew went to go net it, it like came up and rolled, so I got to see how fucking tall this thing was. And I knew it was big. I'm like...
And fat.
And dude, he's hanging off the boat, like one hand on the gunnel, like all the way outstretched, holding the broken net. Again, remember the broken net?
Look away for a second. Look that way for a second. Okay.
All right. Anyway, I legitimately did. Oh, I saw it there. Shit. Anyway, I think he missed the net. Missed the fish by like this much, like less than a foot. It was so close. And I screamed because I knew it was a big fish, but I was thinking like 4.5. That was the best look I got at it. I'll let you elaborate from here, because John...
It was right here. Like, I was leaning over the boat with the net, with the little stubby handle of the net, like, trying to get it. If we had the whole net together, I would have got that fish. 100%.
Uh-huh.
It jumped, like, right in front of my face, and I was like, ah, shit! And I just couldn't get it. And then it came off.
And to take a step back here for a moment, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately, I am exceptionally proud of how far I've come, like, as a person, and how much I've been able to handle myself during trying moments, right? Like, things I used to think were trying aren't really trying, just petty bullshit, like windows of, okay, that's annoying, whatever, move past it, forget it. Instead of letting them beat me down. And, you know, especially with fishing, like, it's really translated hard. And I knew it was a big fish. I didn't really know how big. I just knew it was at least 4 all day long, no questions asked. And I shrugged that shit right off. And I just, nope, it's fine. It sucks, but it's fine. We've figured it out. Now we know colors, we know areas, we know depths. Like, we've got this. And we did, dude. From that moment, we cracked the shit out of those fish until the end of the day.
Literally, as soon as we caught that, it was just like, all right, here we go. Starting to catch fish now. Yeah.
So anyway, apparently, to elaborate on that fish, apparently you and John talked while I was walking around the weigh-in, and I was not there within earshot.
No, you weren't. It was big.
That's how she goes.
I didn't want to tell you, but it's been a couple days now. So, no.
So like, legitimately, like 5+?
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was very long. It was super fat, super tall. So after you caught that, or after that got off, and I went and checked the fish, our fish in the live well. It was much, much bigger than my biggest one in there.
So, plus side, it wouldn't have mattered whatsoever for how we finished in the tournament.
Well,
if we caught it Saturday,
we could have got lunker.
Oh, no, we definitely would have got lunker. Because I think lunker on the day was 4.9 something.
Yeah.
So,
it was over 5 pounds, too.
It would have at least given us lunker for one day, which would have been nice. We got $110 back, I think. Or 105. There's 21 boats. So,
I think it was 125, because Keith got $22.50. And he got lunker both days, I think.
Dang. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know what? It would have been something, which would have been nice. So, but lose the fish. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Like I just said a minute ago, we've got this. Like, dude, we got the color, we got everything. Like, let's go. And, but I looked at him, I was like, but we can't do this with the net.
No.
And then it dawned upon me, like, dude, I have electrical tape in my glove box. So I get it out, and he's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I have an idea. So I grabbed a spool of 50-pound braid I had. Braid has 0 stretch. And I was like, all right, hold them overlapping over the top. And I put a little piece of tape to get the braid started, and then just round it like all the way back and forth. And then I went over that twice with electrical tape. And he wrenches on. He's like, "Yeah, that ain't going anywhere." I'm like, all right, we're good. We're in business for the rest of the day." Dude, the thing worked mint.
Yep. Like 10 minutes later, I had to use it.
It's just a goddamn shame. I didn't think about that before we.
It's all right. Whatever.
Doesn't matter. It's the fact that I didn't let it derail me. We didn't let it derail us.
Right.
We fixed it.
We were pretty freaking. We were focused on Sunday. We wanted to make something work, and we did.
Yep. So, who's
pretty damn happy on how it all ended.
I'm trying to think. So that was okay. So yeah, where we left off. So at that point, that largemouth I caught was our 5th keeper.
Yeah.
So you had 2 good smallies in the boat, and then you had 2 okay ones, one largie, one smallie, and then I had that runt largie.
Yeah.
But we were feeling good. Because at that point, like, how many color combinations of jigs did I go through? And drop shot, and tube,
I was
everything.
changing trailers. That's all I was changing.
Yeah, because
I must have gone through at least 5 trailers myself, and
Yep.
you went through
everything I own.
literally everything. There was just a pile of plastics on the front deck and jigs everywhere. I was like, "What are you doing?"
But eventually, like, I found the color combo, and that big fish was literally, I think, the 2nd cast I made with that color combo on the open water sniper jig with that twin tail grub, right? Bomb that out, get bit. Like, that's all I needed. The fact that giant fish hit it, I don't think that was coincidence. I'm feeling good about it. I'm gonna rock that. And that was literally what I caught the rest of my fish on the rest of the day, except for one more smallie on a drop shot. One of only 2 I got on the drop shot all day. But then from that point,
we went straight across.
Yep, and we kept doing what we like to do this time of the year, and it worked. We just had to figure out the depth, the cadence, and the color combo. And once we locked that down, it was literally clockwork. Every single spot we stopped at that had that combination of everything, we caught multiple fish.
Yeah. I was dragging a jig, and every time it smacked a rock the right way, it was weird because like if it just hit the rock, it wouldn't do anything. If I like hit the rock and rolled over, it wouldn't do anything. But if I got that jig to like crack off a rock, it was like almost every time it happened, I would get hit. It was just the way that I don't know what was going on, but I think they were just chilling right behind the rocks. Maybe I think they were, how deep were we? We were 25, I think 25
to 40. But most of our fish were like that 33, 35 foot range was like kind of the magic number.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because when I was out there in practice, scouting, I say practice, when I was out there scouting, we were working, well, when I was solo and then when we were together, and then on the other lake, when I was solo, like for some reason, 38 feet was like the number. Every time I hit 38 feet, the amount of bait, the amount of bass, and likely trout too that I was marking was insane. I'm like, okay, this is good because literally every spot I hit on both lakes, once I got to like any decent structure at 38 feet, was stacked. And then come tournament time, everything had dropped like literally 2 degrees and they just shifted up just a smidge.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
But dudes are also saying they were catching them out of 6 inches of water.
Which also makes sense.
Yeah.
Given the conditions and the water temp still being the mid to upper 60s at that point, and probably surface temp up there was probably like low 70s, which is like that magic, like happy zone for the largemouth. Especially this late.
You think it was that warm?
I wouldn't be surprised, but you figure it's all super clear water and it's all rocks in inches of water. All that rocks just absorbing whatever sunlight it was getting.
Oh, right up on shore, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. High 60s, I say. Because it was, what, 60?
It was 66 Main Lake, pretty much everywhere we were in.
Yeah, probably high 60s, low 70s. Where'd we go from there? We went from there. Oh, yeah. Where did we go from? Oh, yeah. We kind of worked at one spot for a while. Probably we were on that spot for probably an hour and a half or so, and got a couple fish off that one spot, and then I caught a giant perch too off that spot.
Oh my god, the thing was
That
huge.
would have been 15, 16 inches. The thing was huge. And so we turned around. We're like, got a couple hours left. Let's just work down this shoreline. So we're working down. We're just like, let's throw up on these docks, I guess. And this guy, we waited. We were fishing this one spot because we were kind of waiting for this dude to pull his boat out of his dock and kind of just get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And he pulls out and he stops. He like takes a picture of his house or something. Then he takes off. So I cast towards the end of his dock and I was dragging the jig back. It was probably in 20 feet, 15
to 20.
15,
Somewhere
20.
in that window.
And I got absolutely hammered by this freaking smallmouth. That thing, it made my line jump. Like I felt it on slack line. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
Magnum bite.
Oh yeah. And I just set the hook so hard. You're coming in.
And that was another good one. That was like another 3 1/4 to 3 1/2.
Yeah.
Like somewhere in that window. That we'll call it 3 1/4.
Yeah.
And honestly, that may have been the second to last good cull we had out of the whole day.
Yeah. And you have one more?
We had 1 or 2 more, but
One
it
or
was
two
like
more
for
at
an
the end of the
ounce
day.
here and an ounce there, and like we had to keep busting out the balance beam, and it was like
It was so close.
like
Yeah.
barely, and I'm like, we may have to start weighing these.
Yeah.
And we so like, I guess to wrap it up, like that's pretty much the gist of it. But we kept running points, and then finally we had like a half an hour to go, roughly, and we pulled back up to the point where we had that where DJ was fishing earlier in the day, where we wanted to start the day. Come back, there's nobody there. We were gonna go fish another spot, saw a guy on it, but there's nobody on the other spot. So we're like, well, I know it's been hammered to death, but let's try it. Third cast with
Second cast. No, it's
old-
first cast.
I think you're right. I think it was first.
cast.
Sniper jig, open water sniper from Beast Coast in dirtbag color. And it's a half ounce, by the way. I bombed that out right to the rock pile that I already caught several fish on, both in scouting and then just scouting because we didn't catch any fish off it when we tried to fish it for that short window in the morning. Thump, another solid 3 something. So I finally called out one last okay smallie. I think it was you had caught it like really early in the day. And you could tell he was getting a little stressed. Like his colors were, you can usually tell when a smallie's getting super stressed. Everything but their black lines starts to like become more subdued
It's
for
like,
colors.
it turns almost like white,
Yeah.
whitish, light yellow. It's weird.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good.
No, and you could tell like, okay, I was like, so I was happy to call that out. And I'm like,
We actually called it out, and the fish that we put in there weighed less by like 2 ounces.
what?
Yeah.
No, that was earlier.
Oh, that was
Okay,
earlier in
so-
the day. Earlier in the day. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, because we had one that looked really bad, and we caught another one. It was like whatever, 2 ounces doesn't make a difference. I'd rather not have a fish die.
Right.
So we chucked back the unhealthy one, kept the smaller healthy one.
Mhm.
But then that last call of the day was one I caught on the open water
Yeah,
sniper.
we
and
called it
dirtbag.
out anyway. I think we called both of them out anyway.
And that was the first time all weekend we weighed our own fish. We weighed one, and I'm throwing back this smallie, and, like,
201.
and it was decent, right? It was like a good, like not super long, but fat. And I'm like, dude, we got to weigh this. I want to know, like, what are we throwing back? 2 pounds, 2 ounces. I'm like, holy shit. That fish I just put in there was the smallest one we have now. That's a solid 3+. Like, look at him and say, dude, I think we got at least 15 pounds. Like, we actually did pretty good today.
Yeah, I had John came up to us. He's like, what'd you get? How much you get? Or no, Alex asked us how much we had when we got back to the ramp. And I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, I have no idea. He's gonna weigh your fish? No, we just went out and fun fish today pretty much.
I don't know. Like, weighing them to me is kind of a waste of time because everything I'm taking in, we're going to weigh in anyway.
Yeah. And
That's just time wasted. Like,
you see them, they're bigger or they're smaller, get rid of the smaller one.
yeah.
Use the balance beam. But it was getting close. We almost had to start weighing our fish because
They were
like
getting,
he said, it would like the balance beam was like, "Nyeh."
but when I weighed that last one, 2 pounds, 2 ounces, and I realized, like, dude, the fish I just put in there is the smallest one. It's got to beat by about a pound. It's like, I'm feeling really good about how we did today. So at that point, I think we had like 25 minutes left, and we hammered the hell out of that spot. We wouldn't even bother trying to run anywhere else, and we didn't catch anything else in that short window. But went in with our chins held high, man. Like we bounced back big time.
Yeah. If you saw the video I posted, me pulling the smallie out of the live well, I was smiling.
Yes, he was,
I was actually smiling.
dude. If you saw, so that's on Instagram. The picture I posted, so the second to most recent post. We're driving home, and I give him my phone. He's like, He's like, "You get the pictures?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, Alex took pictures for us while Berkshire was taking pictures for the event." So I handed my phone to look at, and he just starts laughing. He's like, "God damn it! I really thought I was smiling." Like his bottom lip was curled up, like you would be smiling, and his eyes looked like he would be smiling, but like top lip was like straight frown. What I on the Facebook post, what I write, it's like how to smile with your eyes and nothing else. 101 by Andrew Knowlton. A lot of people like that one.
Yeah, that was good.
But so that's like the gist of it. So day one, it was a 5 fish limit both days, and the cumulative weight between the across both days is what won. So day one, we only had 4 for 7 and change. Day two, we bounced back 5 smallies for 16 pounds, and I think the only other team that had like everybody that just we finished 6th day two, and everybody that did better than us had mixed bags except for DJ and Alex. They also had all smallmouth. They had 17 and change. They killed it. Congrats to Alex, by the way.
7th.
We were 7th. What did I say? 6th.
6th. Because if it was a standalone tournament, we would have been 6th.
That's what I meant. Sorry. If Sunday were a standalone tournament, we would have been 6th place out of the 21 boats. And then DJ and Alex killed it. Alex caught his PB too, 4.88 pound smallmouth. I think it was a tank. They earned it like between them and us. Like that was 2 really good solid bags of all smallies. Keith and I forget his first name, Tuttle.
Kyle. I think
Kyle Tuttle.
Kyle Tuttle.
Yeah. They were the ones that won overall. Oh my god! But they had mixed bag for first place day 2 as well, and they only had 18 and change. So like the weights on day 2 are a lot closer. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said
had
it. So
20.
Whoa, hang on. For us, hang on. I don't want to bounce around too much. I had 5 smallies for us for 16.22. I'm sorry, I forgot I've already said that. Overall, we finished 7th place. We bounced back from 12th place after day 1 to finish 7th overall. DJ and Alex finished 4th.
4th, yeah.
Last paying spot. 5th place had like a prize pack. Our total weight was 9 for 23 and change. Okay. Yeah, poor John and Sean. What I figure out, John, you finished 16th with 6 fish for like not a lot. It was not an easy weekend.
No.
Except for 2 teams, 1st place and 2nd place. Now you can talk about Keith and Kyle and their.
They absolutely killed it. Day 1, they had.
Wait, I want to tell them the total weight. Then you can break down the individuals.
Okay, so at the end of the weekend,
10 fish, so 5 fish limit per day, right? 10 fish total for 45 pounds and change. They averaged
insane.
4.5 pounds over the 2 days across 2 different freaking lakes. Okay, give them the details on that, because what they did was unreal.
They went up and they threw jerkbaits all day, and they just on Saturday, and absolutely killed it, getting
26.9 pounds on 5 fish.
27 pounds on 5 fish. And then they followed up on Sunday with 18 something. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
45 pounds.
Unreal.
Nuts.
And dude, like, and actually from what we heard, they dropped 2 fish on Saturday that would have put them over 30 pounds too on their bag.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
It was great because when we left, like maybe not a lot. There was a handful of guys that I knew by, like, kind of through social media. So it's nice to finally put, a face to the name. Keith was one of them. He runs Stay Bent
Fishing Tours?
I think it's Stay Bent Outdoors. I know it's Stay Bent, but hang on, I have it right here. But he's a full-time guide up in Vermont, and we follow Stay Bent Fishing. There it is. Actually, I came across him last year when I was going up to Champlain one day. He went to a different area of Champlain, but like it was nice to finally actually like sit down with the guy and like talk to him for a little bit. And we were just kind of talking shop at the end of the day. Yeah, what those guys did was something else.
Yeah,
that was insane.
Yep, they had a good weekend. That's for sure. And they walked home with a big check.
Giant check, yeah. It was, like you said, what, $22.50?
I think so, yeah. I think I'm pretty sure it was $22.50.
$250 buy-in per team. So happy to donate. You're welcome. So I guess I want to talk a little bit about the baits because this really, John, I don't know that they were live scoping the jerk baits. I don't know. I don't
know
think
if
so.
He had it on there or not.
I don't know that he does.
Couldn't tell you.
So I want to talk a little bit about like, so the whole title is right, making adjustments. We kind of talked about that as Andrew's breaking down how the whole weekend went, like how we made our adjustments, the whole 9 yards. But I really want to show you what we were going through. I should have brought the aftermath of what was left in my boat and just laid it out here so people could see.
It was a lot.
How many times have I said color is everything? Maybe not every time, but most of the time, color is everything. It was 2 entirely different colors that got it done between Saturday and Sunday on 2 extremely similar lakes. I mean, the structure, the overall depths, the water clarity, what's there for vegetation, bait fish, like the whole 9 yards. The way the fish relate to structure, like it is just stupid how similar these lakes are. Water temps were identical, 2 entirely different colors. Open water sniper, got my big fish on Saturday. 4.34 pound smallmouth, 40 feet of water off a rock pile. That's the stealth pumpkin in the half ounce with a 3.3 inch Kai Tech in the Pro Staff color. It's a green and orange laminate, green on top, orange on bottom, slow dragging. And this was the only similarity between what we did Saturday to Sunday, what I did Saturday to what we did Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't resist. This got hung up on a rock, and if rod tip was like maybe just a little bit lower than level, and I got it, like I could feel it was kind of stuck. I got it to about level, and it popped free. My rod got to about here, and then it went immediately back down to here. Like it popped off, and normally I'd bring my rod tip all the way up so I could swing the jig up and over the rock I just got stuck on, right? It popped, poof,
Yeah.
and then buried the hook in it, brought it up. I had that fish pinned.
Yeah, he was not coming off.
Nope. I had a hard time getting the jig out of her mouth. But yeah, 4.34. But I went through how many different, I went through probably 10 different, I went through every color magic flick I had. I'm not going to tell you my other go-to drop shot bait because hardly anybody I know uses it. So I want to keep that to myself. I went through every color on that. I went through an entirely different thing, and I still I couldn't get them to touch the friggin'
I threw a saltwater bucktail.
Yes, he did. Dude, we
Swear to
tried
God.
everything.
Literally everything.
I couldn't get them to touch drop shot. I tried Ned rig. I couldn't get them to bite that. I tried spider jig. How many times have I talked about how good a freaking spider jig is, right? I tried green pumpkin with black flake, cinnamon with black flake, smoke gray with orange and black flake, watermelon with red and black flake. Nothing. They wouldn't touch any of it. I didn't try black and blue. That's the only thing I didn't try out of all those.
I tried straight black.
So I got to thinking, all right, screw it. I'm going to try the open water sniper. It is similar to a spider jig, depending on how you set it up, but it's just because of that skirt, it's a little bit bulkier. So I've already been doing pretty well on this. So I picked it up again. I don't remember what I was throwing on it for. Oh, I did this, but with a just straight green pumpkin trailer. Nothing. And finally I was like, screw it. I'm going to give him something a little bit more perchy. I don't think I was throwing that long before I caught that 4.
No.
Once I went to that combo. And that was the magic color.
Yeah.
But then that was it for Saturday. Not much else to say. The rest of the fish came on a stupid Senko. Sunday, I went through twice as many combos of everything. Literally, same thing for all my drop shots. I went through 4 different colors on my Ned rigs. I went through 3 different Senkos. And then when I got to the spider jigs, I went through all the same colors of spider jigs, even the one that I was catching them on the other day. But this is part of the process about making adjustments, right? Now it's not just me talking about like, oh, these are all the things I threw before I figured it out. We're reading the lake. We're seeing how the fish are reacting. And a big part of that comes from watching them with the drop shot, right? Like I got close with the drop shot once I kind of nailed in the color. I could get them to react a little bit more. And a darker color is what they were more keyed in on. Okay, let's go to bulkier profile because they really don't want anything to do with my 3.5 inch swim baits or not the swim bait on this. And then on drop shot, they didn't want anything to do with my 3.5 inch magic flicks. They didn't want anything to do with like a 5 inch finesse worm, like none of that. So I remembered last year about the same time, Andrew and I won a tournament using the throw in the dirt bag. There's something that happens at this time of the year where like they just progressively, as I don't know if it's bait fish are changing as well or if it's just the crawfish, but darker colors become much more productive. Not to say you can't catch things on your standard green pumpkins, but if you go just that next step, you get way more productive, right? So then I pick up, and I remembered I bought a handful of these from Beast Coast, the open water sniper and dirt bag. I thought I had a ton of the hustler and dirt bag. So it's that finesse hybrid skirt jig, right?
I made one last all day.
I had one, and I literally first thing in the morning I pulled it. I'm like, oh, dude, I only got one because I was gonna go tie it on. I just handed it to him. I was like, you killed it on this last year. Do it again today. You're like, oh, I don't know. I was like, tie the fucking thing on. So he did, and he literally made it last all day, right?
Which is crazy because the last time we went up there, I don't know how many times I got broken off by pike, and I
Too many.
didn't get bit once by a pike on Sunday. And DJ caught a giant pike right next to us. That thing was huge. That thing would have been close to, I don't even know, maybe 30 inches, 25, 30 inches. But
it was pretty big.
But we didn't. You may have lost one. No, your leader, didn't your leader break or something? I thought you said you got bit off by one.
I did. There was two that I had I lost one from my leader breaking, and then I had one that I got bit off. Like I was lifting up, all of a sudden, thunk, and then just
Oh, nothing. Oh,
nothing.
Great.
Pike.
But oh shit. What are we talking about? Jigs.
Yep.
Jigs. Yes, hustler. That thing, I can't tell you what I was throwing as a trailer.
Is Mike here? Mike, wait, Panda. You remember Mike? Remember I told you 2 years ago we went to St. Lawrence? I told you guys in the Discord, like, hey, Andrew did this. And Mike was like, what a jerk. That's jerk fishing.
Well,
I will tell you in Discord after, but I can promise you he's going to be 10 times more annoyed once I tell you what he was doing.
And it was working.
Dude, it was working great. It wasn't just like kind of working, like crack, fish after fish. And I'm like, I'm still getting short striked.
It worked very well.
It worked mint.
10 to 12 pound pike. That's what he got. Jeez.
That's a tank. But it took you a couple of different variations of things before you were like, well, screw it. Like, same deal. I think you went through, I don't even know how many different trailers. You were trying the same trailer in different colors. You were trying different trailers in the same and different colors. And then finally you were like, you know what? I've got this thing. I have an idea. And you told me, I'm like, that's stupid. But
and I
every
picked
time
it up,
you do
I
that, it
put
works.
it on. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to get smashed. And like 3 casts later.
You caught another chonky fish.
Yep.
Like another 3-pound smallie, I think. That was the third good one we had in the live well. And I'm like, hell yeah, that did work. And like, it looks stupid, but what it was doing made perfect freaking sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. So that got me thinking like, okay, that color is clearly it. And having something different is clearly working. So I'm trying to think outside the box. I'm like, wait a minute. I have 1/2 ounce tubes with rattles in them. And I've got tubes with that same color of the dirt craw and some other baits that Andrew was throwing that were working. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to try that on. First cast, I got thumped, which was a short strike. But, okay, we're getting closer. Like that big, bulky profile, now they're hitting it. So that's just another piece of the puzzle as we go through making those adjustments, right? They don't want any of the super finesse crap. They don't want anything really moving, at least the way we were fishing. And they clearly want something in the rocks. I don't have anything that really gets down there. Oh, wait a minute.
It's like they wanted something that made a disturbance without making a disturbance.
Right. And bulky, but short.
Right.
Or just, like you said, disturbance or noise or something. Like it had to be an easy.
It's like why I was cracking it off the rock just right and they were smashing it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So continue to make those adjustments. I start going through everything. And usually the spider jig for me is like my go-to when things get super tough. If I know that they want something a little bit bulkier than a drop shot, but still kind of finesse. Like for me, that's exactly where a spider jig fits in. It's halfway between like bulky jig, regular old skirted football or arky head jig with a trailer, and something smaller, like just dragging a little tiny swim bait on a jig head or something like that, right? It's mid-ground. And they weren't hitting it. So I'm like, okay, but I feel like I had the bulk of what the tube offered. Short, but like meaty, thick, triple C thick. So I was like, all right, you know what? I have an idea. And I grabbed one of my twin-tailed grubs, hula grubs, cut the hula part off, and I just left the twin-tailed grub, and then that's literally what I have right here. Twin-tailed grub and I looked at him, I was like, huh.
He started cutting the skirt on the top of the hula grub off, and I was like, I used to do that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And always killed it.
And I threw it on there, I'm like, that literally just looks like a spider jig on steroids. It's still the same kind of deal, but like it's short, but it's bulky. It's a compact, bulky thing. I don't know how else to explain that. I said that 1,000 times. Aiden, both. If you've got a lot of vegetation, go Texas rig. If you got some open lanes, throw a wacky rig, or get a wacky rig hook with one of those weed guards on it. Thank me later.
Yep.
But then I start throwing this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got all the confidence in the world in this because it looks different from everything else I throw, but at the same time, it's still the same thing as a spider jig, in my opinion. It's just a little bit bulkier. So it's like, that's to me, like that minute adjustment, right? I felt like I didn't feel like I knew we had the depths locked down, what they were doing, how they wanted to eat, and like kind of the overall size. I just need to get that color. And I don't even have the right color on here because I went looking at my boat for it. This was the thing I changed to when I tore my last bait with like 10 minutes ago. That's just a green pumpkin, but it was a smoke, like a cinnamon, twin-tail grub. So kind of, more on the black side of color scheme, if you will. I looked at him and I held up. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, I've got all the confidence in the world in that. I can live or die by that the rest of the day. And we lived.
Oh yeah, we did.
But that's what it comes down to. Like when it. Oh, thanks, SBM.
Hey, what happened? Oh, thank you.
I'm just gonna keep doing this to you. Look over.
Oh yeah. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Hey, see the dirt on my hands?
Yeah,
it's from there.
One of the things that we have really, really, really been working on these last few years is I don't want to be a good angler on Winnipesaukee. I don't want to be a good angler on Squam Lake.
I don't want to fish Winnie.
No, but like I don't want to be a good tournament angler on a
specific lakes.
I want to be a good tournament angler
on all lakes
on fish.
Yeah.
As stupid as that sounds, what we have worked really hard for the last few years is to learn how to pattern fish, not pattern the lake. Because I feel if you get more comfortable with just reading the conditions, as long as you know what's there for structure, right? You have to go in and at least look at the lake, and which I did. I put in 2 full days of idling for, I think the shortest I did was 4.5 hours, and then I did close to 7 hours the next day of just idling and staring at side imaging or putting my trolling motor down with Mega 360 and looking at everything and understanding what is there. Because at this point, we are confident we know the patterns of fish pretty much ice out to ice in. Really, really cold temps, like that 37-ish degree water towards ice.
Can't wait.
It's good, but like we still have some work to do. But everything in between that, 37 all the way up and back down to 37, we know what we're doing. As long as we know what's available for structure. So I don't care where I go at this point. I don't need to fish the lake over and over and over again to figure out the patterns of the fish. I know the patterns of the fish. I just need to find the structure that I know they're going to be on, depending on the time of the year and the water temperature and the weather conditions and all that. And that's literally what we did for Sunday. And just knowing that, like, okay, yeah, they could be in a couple of different areas, but I know from years of experience that if we can find this combination of circumstances, we will catch fish. And we did. Because we listened to the lake. We paid attention to the information being thrown at us. We saw the way the fish were reacting to things. Andrew was like, that's one of the things that we're really big on is like cognizant of everything that is happening when we get bit. Like, I think it was your second fish. You're like, I caught that after I popped off a rock. All right, filed it away. Third fish. Yeah, dude, I popped out of a rock and I got smoked. Right. Yep. Okay. Fourth fish. Yep.
Popped out of a rock.
If I get in that rock and I just kind of keep it there and I'm like, almost like trying to get it stuck. As soon as it pops free, I get smashed. And then that's literally what we did the rest of the day. But then it took a little bit while, which is why I'm going to say it again. I already said it tonight. Color is everything. It took a while to nail down what that color combination was. But once we figured it out, my God, it was nonstop for those last 3 hours that we were fishing them. And I went from catching nothing to I think I probably caught 15 to 20 fish
Yeah.
inside that last 3 hours. I think we caught pretty close to 30 fish in like the last 3 hours of the day. It was nuts. But it was just a matter of like that's what it takes, in my opinion, for when I say making adjustments. It's not just trying a different spot necessarily.
Never tried. Just no. It's taking the information that you already have and adding to it from what you've learned so far. It could be from the previous hour or the previous 6 hours or previous 10 hours. If you're still trying to figure it out, but at that point, it doesn't take. It sometimes even takes a couple days to figure out what they're doing in the weather conditions.
Right.
It's not just 5 minutes making an adjustment and you're on the fish. It's not. It's not that fast.
Yep. I just want to back up for a second. I'm sorry I haven't really been paying attention to the chat too much. I've been trying to keep up with it, but I really want to make sure that I was able to hopefully adequately really explain and elaborate like what we mean by making adjustments during tournaments. Again, it's literally everything he just said. You can't just make these little changes. Dude, you got to keep trying everything. And it's a fine line to toe when you're making these adjustments, like with the speed at which you're making your adjustments. If I tied this on and I threw it for 2 casts, and then I tied this on and I threw it for 2 casts, and then I tied on a drop shot and threw it for 2 casts, that are way too many drastic changes.
Add 100 more casts each.
Right, in too short of a window. If you really, really think that a jig is the key, and you're starting with this, it's not working, just change your trailer. Start with that. Same exact trailer, change the color. Try that for like 15, 20 minutes in the same area. Or if you decide to move, again, like accumulatively, like 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's still not working? Okay, maybe change the style of the trailer. Go to a swim bait. Or go to a regular craw, but kind of keep the same, same color profile that you're going with, right? Like, eventually you're going to find that magic combo they're just going to start crushing it. And I feel like it's more important for smallmouth than it is for largemouth. Largemouth, I feel like, aren't quite as fickle. It depends on the time of the year.
Sometimes they are, but compared to smallmouth, they're not.
Right. But that's what I mean by making adjustments. It's not these drastic things. It's little things, right? I started with this because that's why I caught that giant fish on. Green pumpkin with green pumpkin trailer. Just kept going at it. Okay, that's not working. I've tried... I tried a twin tail grub, I tried craws, I tried swim baits of different lengths and all these different colors. They're not feeling the green pumpkin. Okay, now it's time for the drastic change. Let's go black and brown, because I know that worked last year because Andrew absolutely slated on it. And then they did too for me once I switched over to him after like the 4th big fish. You're like, would you please switch over?
Yeah, it was like the 4th 4-pounder, and I was like, it's 4 pound smaller. I was like, get on the frick, put that on. Put it on right now. And then he started catching fish.
Yeah. Like that, it's incremental. It doesn't always have to be these drastic things. Sometimes maybe, but it's all about reading the conditions. Incremental changes because we already had a lot of that information from the day before. Fortunate for that input so that it could help us kind of guide along our way to that next step. If we were fishing like very first time that we had fished in there in like a week, we'll say, I would have had, if I felt confident that a jig was going to get done, I would have had a rod tied on with both of these. And I would have climbed through it with about 10 casts of this one, and then I would have gone right back through it the exact same way with this one. And then continue to make adjustments from there. Okay, well, neither one of those is working, but, well, this has got a craw, or a twin tail grub, and that's got a swim bait. Well, let's flip-flop them. And I'll put a swim bait on this one, different color combo, and sometimes it's not just color, but profile, it all plays in. But that's what I mean by making adjustments. It's like,
that's why we always have a jig, a drop shot, and then something else on. Because if they're not hitting the jig, you throw a drop shot in there, and they start hitting the drop shot, but they're short striking it, and you maybe got to change the color. Or you drop down on them with down imaging, they come up, and they come up to it, and then they take off again. Change your profile, change your color until they start hitting it. If it gets their attention when you drop down on them, they're going to hit some sort of combination of what you're throwing. You might have to change one thing on it. Color, size, any trailer, something. It was easier in weedy ponds.
They're talking to Aiden in the chat. There's a lot going on in the chat. Everybody's helping out Aiden's Baits. Sorry, which. Thank you everybody for jumping in on that. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, Alex, I really hope you're still here. Sorry, Wicked Custom Rod. Oh, what did your big fish come on? Sorry, I thought you were asking me what Wicked Custom Rod I had. That you're asking that. Oh, I tied on a brand new underspin first cast. Wham! Then nothing. Thanks, Pike.
John. Oh,
John.
no. Damn.
Ooh.
Didn't know that.
Oh, the Pike. Ooh, flashy. Chomp.
Yeah, what's that thing moving? I'm gonna eat it.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I left out as far as when it comes to like making adjustments with that. Cadence is a big thing too.
Cadence is a huge thing.
We just talked a lot about baits. We touched upon the importance of figuring out that cadence, but we didn't really elaborate on it.
Yep. When I'm trying to figure out the cadence for a jig, I will start fast, which I don't like to do, but I will do it just because I've had days where I'm literally swimming the jig across the bottom, just like constant, like just slow rolling and they're just knocking off rocks and they'll hit it. I've also had days where we've gone out and it's taking a minute, 2 minutes, like not 5-minute casts, just dead sticking it and moving it an inch and letting it sit for another 30 seconds and then moving it an inch and letting it sit for 30 seconds. It's ridiculous how long it could take for them to bite. Sometimes it takes on the fall. Sometimes it takes you till you get back to your boat after a 10-minute cast. Like,
right.
There's so many variables. But I will start fast. I'll start casting out. I'll pop it around a couple rocks, reel it in and pop it more, reel it in, pop it more. I'll do big pops. I'll do small pops. I'll drag it. And while I'm doing those, I'll start faster and then I'll even go slower. Like I'll drag fast and then I'll wait a second, drag it, wait a second, drag it, or then I'll drag it slow, wait 5 to 6 seconds, drag it slower, wait 5 seconds. I'll do that till I'm sitting there and every 30 seconds I'm moving it an inch, dragging it. Every 30 seconds, dragging another inch until I figure out what cadence they want.
Yep. And for me, I'll throw a combination of things. I will always start moderate paced, right? If I'm throwing a drop shot, I'll drop it down, pick it up, and dead stick it. This time of the year, I always start with the dead sticking because it just seems to work.
This time of year, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
But if they're nosing down it but not hitting it, then I'll start adding some twitches in. And I'll start slow and actually work my way faster. Sometimes more often than not, they don't want it moving at all. But the times that they want it moving, it's usually pretty aggressive. Jigs, I usually move at a pretty moderate pace. Let it hit the bottom, wait 5-6 seconds, something like that. And then I kind of just pop my wrist like that. And I'm trying to make it look like it's just kind of going, like kind of hopping along the bottom. And I wait, slightly tense line, and then maybe like 3 or 4 seconds and repeat. And I'll move it like that for like 20 feet. And then, to be clear, just...
Thanks, John.
That's great. But that works. For like a good pace, it seems to work most of the year. And then from there, for a jig, I will continuously slow down like Andrew does. I will just go slower and slower. And that was the ticket for this Sunday. So going uber slow, getting up in the rocks and then just rocking it.
Yeah, literally just dragging until you feel something hard, like a rock, or even if there was any grass. I was almost trying to get it caught somewhat in the grass and then just kind of like drag it out quick so it would bust through it and make a bunch of commotion.
Yeah.
And then I ended up hitting a rock, like smacking a rock really hard, and the fish just destroyed it. And I was like, okay, I think this might be the ticket.
Yeah. So playing with cadence is another big thing. You can't just rely on one cadence and changing everything else. Sometimes you're either going to speed it way up and go for that reactionary bite, which I know other guys were doing. They were fishing the polar opposite of us. They were fishing a finesse bait with a super heavy weight. They're like, let it hit bottom, give it 2 pops. If they weren't on it, pick it back up and go again. Yep. Don't even let them really look at it. Heavy weight, let it rocket past their face, and they're just reactionary. Like, whoa, that's close to what I like, and they're just smoking it. Versus, you said if they were fishing it really light, the fish got to look at it too long, they're like, not feeling it. So, 2 schools of thought, that's where cadence really comes into play.
Alex, I'm not going to answer that. You know what it is. I told you.
Backing up to the chat, Alex asked, what was Andrew's trailer on his jig for his big fish on Sunday? There's one trailer we might be able to talk about, but before
Yeah,
that, I
one
want to
of
back
them.
up further. Rob asks, should I head to Lake St. Clair or Lake Erie for Smallies? Headed to the Detroit River Saturday. First time either place. Any pointers?
Either. I go to
I
Erie.
really don't think you can go along with either one. I did just see
can't.
someone caught a giant on Lake St. Clair.
There's
I don't think
there's
you can go wrong
bigs
with
in
either one, man.
both. Honestly,
And numbers.
I would love to go to St. Clair.
That's a bucket list item.
Yeah, for sure. Erie, yeah, I'd like to go to Erie, but I would love to go to St. Clair.
Yeah.
I just want to hook onto a freaking either like a muskie with 8 pound.
Yep.
It would be sick. Well, what's his face? Jordan Lee. Brandon Lee? Jordan Lee. Caught hooked into that sturgeon
Oh yeah, with Zona.
on Zona.
Yeah.
On St. Clair. That was sick.
Zach Newt, when are you coming to Canada again? Actually,
Hmm.
I got to talk to Bodybuilder Paul because we were supposed to fish with him this weekend. We're supposed to go to Vermont. It's not cold enough yet. So I got to get in touch with him because I'm debating if the weather plays nice. I wouldn't mind coming down there this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the weather does. Oh boy. Alex is laughing at response.
Which one? Oh yeah.
About your trailer. Oh, Kevin, there you go. Kevin responded, I had luck on the St. Clair River. Lake St. Clair was rough when I was there. Interesting.
Hmm.
And then Panda, I want
Like
to fish Lake
weather-wise,
Simcoe.
or
I'm curious. I'm going to get my water. Take over and chat for a second. I'm really thirsty. That coffee.
where's Lake Simcoe
Simcoe is in Canada.
in Canada?
North of St. Clair.
I gotta look this up real quick. I want to see this. Lake Simcoe, Ontario, Canada. Oh wow, look at that. How far is that? Oh Jesus. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be going there. Say it's huge. Crazy good for smallies. I had luck on St. Clair River. Oh, you just said that. Canada. Huge smallies, like 7s all day. Entertain us, Andy. That's Adam from my work. Let me think. Saturday, Sunday. You want to go to Candlewood? Sean? I know you're standing behind the door. Do you want to go to Candlewood?
I'd love to go to Canadawood. The weather plays nice. I would love to go to Canadawood. I love that spot.
I'm supposed to be going fishing with Kristen on Monday. And I think I know where I want to go. Where I caught those 2 big smallies out of my boat.
Ooh, you can't.
Yes, I can. It's warm water.
I thought that was a designated trout pond. It is.
No. Me and
Yeah.
Kyle looked it up.
What?
I don't think it is.
I guarantee you it is.
Well, then... Shit.
Entertain us, Andy. Dance puppet.
I didn't know what to do.
I got you. I'll look it up.
It can't... I thought it said warm water. Even though there's a bunch... They stock it with trout.
I'm pretty sure it's designated trout pond.
I don't want to believe it.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. If I can get there.
Damn it.
Told you. Remember, I was an
April.
aspiring guide before I realized I sucked at it.
Going there in April. Then. Kristen, we're going April. 3rd week of April, we're going.
Wait, who did you just talk to? Who'd you just say?
Kristen.
She's here?
No, I'm
Oh.
just yelling if she is watching. I don't know. But
She's busy. She bought a house. She's been busy.
oh yeah, true.
Um,
Dance puppet.
Cam, Winnie on Sunday was stupid. Couldn't fish any of my spots because of the wind. Put down the troll motor at the first spot, and every wave was coming over the front of the boat. Dude, that was a Saturday. All that wind you guys got Sunday, we had Saturday. It was insane. Weird mic noise feedback. Sorry, hang on.
Touching that.
Mic cleared up. Oh! I think it's because the fan's coming in. Let me know if it's still doing it.
It's weird. April isn't too far away anyway. Yeah, it is.
All right, Aiden, if you're still here, have a good night, buddy. Thank you. I really hope that's still not.
Two jigs. No, it
You're
says
good. Okay, good.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you. I have a giant fan in the other room, and I've got like a gap that big underneath the door, So I have it blowing in, and I think it was just angled just right. The wind was cutting up in front of it.
It was me.
It was Andrew.
What did I do?
Oh, who knows? What didn't you do?
2 weeks ago on Champlain, really windy, couldn't fish out of the North Hero. Really? Isn't that where we launched out of?
Yeah, pretty much. North. Yeah, pretty much.
We were South Hero, right? I don't know.
Ah, damn it! All right, thank you, Zach. Candlewood's out. All right,
Hey.
we'll have to talk to Paul and see what doing something different here.
There's a pretty.
Screw it.
big-
Let's go to Champlain.
John.
What?
Sorry.
There it is.
Son of a bitch. My mom's probably watching.
At this point, for everybody that's still watching, if you could take a second and drop a like on the stream, would be hugely appreciative. The last couple of streams, you guys have absolutely killed it with dropping likes on it. And again, I asked earlier, but for those that have, at this point that are watching it just on YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. That would be greatly appreciated as well. And you know, donations always good. As you can see, we changed the donation goal. We got the stream deck, which hold up, you can't. I'm gonna break this.
Don't do it.
It's all it's sliding out all fancy. So I got all like I got a lot of work to do to customize that, so I can get more fancy things to happen with it, so I can add stuff to the stream. But hugely appreciated for the donations that have already come through to get us to that next goal. As you can see, the camera's killing it. So
The camera's wicked nice.
Camera's stupid nice, and it's funny. And at this point, like, I definitely want to start hearing questions from the chat too for everything we've been talking about. If you want us to elaborate on baits or like why we choose certain things, so on and so forth, like, start hitting it. We brought all of the camera stuff up north this past weekend and did 0 filming. Wasn't entirely intended to happen that way. The forecast called for rain all day Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It literally did not rain at all during the tournament until everybody got off the lake. And it was the stupidest thing.
It poured.
Dude, literally, what? A minute, maybe a minute after the last boat pulled out of the lake, everybody was loaded up in the parking lot so that we could do the weigh-in from there, because the wind was ripping right by the boat launch. I'm not even kidding, not exaggerating. A minute after the last boat pulled out, it was dead slick.
Yep. It was, and a tree fell during weigh-in. And it's like, what the?
As we're loading the boat on the trail, all of a sudden we hear like cracking and creaking and crashing. We look over, just like 60-foot tree.
Yeah, I'm sitting there cranking the boat onto the trail, and I hear crack, crack, crack. I'm just like, hit me, please hit me. After today, just take me out.
It was bad. And then maybe 10 minutes after we all got off the lake, it poured.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to fix the freaking motor on the boat, and I'm getting poured on, and
it didn't let up until the next morning. And then same deal for Sunday. It was beautiful all day. It was supposed to have passing rain showers in the morning and afternoon. Literally nothing until weigh-in. And then we had a couple of passing showers.
Yep.
It's great. God damn it. I keep forgetting. Is it Aaron that's doing SVM?
No, Adam.
Sorry, Adam. Sony A6400 is the camera we're using. That would have been your second crappy.
Shut up.
Jokes. Second. That would have been your second crappy ... thing to happen to you.
Yeah, I know.
Way to go, John. Jokes.
At least I didn't break my bed.
I didn't break it. It was already
It was
broken.
already broken.
I sat on the bed and actually I didn't quite sit on it. Like I like rolled into it to lie down. I was like, I'm gonna get comfy, and the thing was just like, it's like, this is really spongy. And he looks over and he doubles over laughing. He's like, dude, it's broken. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, my God, that looks comfortable.
Bed frame snapped clean in half. That was fun.
I didn't even sleep that night, the first night.
No, we didn't even get there until, I think we rolled into the driveway at like 9:40, and then we were up shooting the shit with everybody until like midnight.
Yeah, midnight, and then we had to be up for 4. And it was pouring, and the way that the roof came down in the room where the head of my bed was like, I'm laying down, the roof was like here, and it's getting poured on. This is fucking dumb.
John, second fattest guy in the house, no broken anything besides pride. Alex, I broke mine too.
Yeah,
Don't
and
say-
all I heard was Alex snoring all night.
Dude, I'm so glad I didn't hear that because I would not have been able to sleep.
I didn't. Night 2 though,
Yeah.
out like a freaking light.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you were out. Like we went to sleep. Like everybody kind of crashed a little earlier. Like John went to sleep like an old lady at 8, and then DJ and Alex weren't too far behind him because Alex was falling asleep on the couch. And then I was waiting for my wife to call because she was driving home from her sister's in the pouring rain. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stay up until she gets home. So like everybody's asleep. My wife's not home for like another 10 minutes. I'm just like messing around. So I go upstairs waiting for her to call. Talking to Andrew for like a minute. I forget what the hell we were even talking about. And then like 30 seconds later. And it was like a real gentle snore. I was like, wow, that was fast. Dude's gone.
Yeah, I was out.
This could suck the wallpaper off the wall.
Oh, I freaking went into the bathroom and the door handle just went freaking aborted mission, like took
Oh,
off
yeah.
across the kitchen. God.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was a fun weekend.
It was a great weekend. And that's a thing, like, you know, to the point I made earlier about at least myself, because you've never really had a problem ever about maintaining, like, if not at least a positive attitude, just like in really shit situations, you're still at least neutral.
Yeah.
Whereas I've always had a tendency at some point to lose my shit, and then I lose focus. And that's the big thing I've been working on the last couple months. And I know I've turned a corner. I can feel it. Like I bought into myself. I know what I'm doing. And like, despite getting our teeth kicked in on Saturday in a lake that we know pretty damn well, we were laughing our asses off. Like even when we were getting tossed, I almost fell out of the boat in 50 foot of water with 4-foot waves going by. Like I turned around, stepping backwards at the same time. The tow motor decided, let's go this way. And the boat's rocking in 3 to 4 foot waves, and I'm leaning back, windmilling, and Alex and DJ are just over there, and I caught my balance, I'm like, oh, and Alex yells over, I saw that. But like it was great. Like we had fun. We knew at a certain point, we're like, okay, I mean, anything can happen. We're still hopeful it'll happen, but at the same time, like John in the Jetsons car. We're totally gonna get copyright strike for that. The Jetsons suck. The Jetsons truck.
I get 32.9 miles a gallon on the way, so eat it. We did not.
No, I get like 9 miles per gallon when I tow. But like, yeah, exactly, Panda. When the tow motor jerks one way and the wind goes the other. And like, yeah, I was straight up windmilling on the edge of my boat. I thought I was going in the drink, like full rain gear and everything. Like, dude, we had water coming in the boat. Battery was almost dead. Like, but we had fun. We were laughing our asses off the whole time. And we got back and like just got to decompress. Like, I think we were back at the house at 3:45. And maybe 4 o'clock at the latest. And we didn't have anything to do. We were going to cook, but it was pouring. So using the grill went out the window and everybody was like, let's just get pizza. But we don't want to do it right now. So we just sat there talking for like the first hour and a half. And then everybody's on their phones looking at TikTok and all that crap for the next half an hour. And just like, we vegged, decompressed, relaxed. And then went and got food.
I was being productive. I was getting hungry.
Yes, you I watched all these guys house a whole freaking pizza to themselves. A whole large pizza for each person. Except for dummy me with my gluten intolerance now. Fun times.
And Meat Lovers was great.
Shut up. Hey, when I got home, I had a great gluten-free pizza. I know that doesn't sound possible, but you just have to believe me. Don't take this from me. And dude, it was fun. And then like going into it, but we lightly talked about it Saturday night.
The M&Ms.
It's not. Oh yeah, dude, peanut butter M&Ms. That's way. Yeah, Panda. It sucks.
Just act excited. When I came out with the bag.
I bought the only thing I have left in my life that I can eat that like for like junk food is like peanut butter M&Ms. And we went into the grocery store. We go to our food at the pizza place. I get a salad because yeah, life sucks. And then we go over to the grocery store because Alex needed a contact case or something like that. And I'm looking through, I'm like, yep, I can have those chips. Those are gluten-free. And they all went somewhere. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, they get the big bag of peanut butter M&Ms. So I grab it.
I was following some chick with a butt.
Oh, there you go. And I go and pay, and I'm outside before anybody else comes out. And I stuff the M&Ms in my pocket. And John comes out behind me, and he's like, what do you got there, bag of chips? I'm like, yeah, and these. I pull my hoodie pocket. He's like, act surprised when Andrew comes out. Andrew bought me a whole bag of peanut butter M&Ms because he felt bad because I couldn't eat anything gluten.
I did, and I bought a beer. which I
Yep.
never drank, and I gave to Sean at work.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna drink. You want it? Here you go.
You know, but then like Saturday, let's talk about more adjustments, right? Adjust your perspective and your attitude. We went out Saturday. So Saturday night, before Sunday, obviously, we're talking to DJ and like, where are you going? You have a shot at this. We don't. I know I want to fish somewhere, and I'm pretty sure you're going to start at the same spot, but where are you fishing? He's like, I'm going to fish here. I was like, that's where I want to go. No, all you, man. We have no shot. I wouldn't say no shot. We would have had to caught a 30-pound bag just to get into the money.
Yeah.
And even still, that would have bumped DJ and Alex out. If literally everybody else, nothing changed what they did, but we caught a 30-pound bag day 2, that would have only put us in 4th place. That's how far back we were.
Yeah, we were up. Yeah.
So we kind of
That's
touched
nice.
upon it about like, what do we want to do for tomorrow for like our starting point? So at least we had a game plan. We knew where we were going. Then we were on the water, we were fishing. I brought it up again. I was like, dude, if we like want a shot at money, we're probably gonna have to catch like 25 pounds. We're gonna have to put together our best day ever. And he was just like, Andrew's like, yeah, let's just fun fish.
Yeah,
And I was
pretty
like,
much.
yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna do. And we did. We just had fun. I mean, it was frustrating for me at hour 4 of no fish. That's not fun fishing.
No, that wasn't. It wasn't
But-
fun watching it.
No, well, I was fine until my 5th fish, and that was on the tube. And dude, he trucked it, knocked slack in my line, trucked it, and he just wasn't there. It's like he hit it at a full sprint and
I
just
watched the
punched
whole
it
thing.
and
And-
I set the hook thinking he was running at me, and
Your
there
hook
was
set was
nothing
fine.
there.
Your hook set was like perfect.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the one I turned his head on.
Yep.
It was the first one I actually hooked into. The other 4 I didn't even get a chance to
I
hook
did it
into.
a couple times too. I missed.
and
Turned a couple of heads, and then there was nothing.
Yeah. And I almost lost it. Like I like gritted teeth, like bite my lip. I took my rod over my knee, and I was like, and I looked at him. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. It's not like I'm hooking into and losing fish halfway to the boat, because at least then I'd have like a real reason to be mad, right? There's something I'm doing wrong. What can I change? These fish aren't even giving me a chance. I can't change anything about what is going on here other than to keep changing up lures and hoping for the best. And that's what we did. And it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I have a runny nose.
Feel sick.
No, I forgot to take my allergy medicine the last 2 days.
A little congested.
A little congested.
Oh, congested.
So, all right, Jason, have a good night, buddy. Yeah, 4 a.m. does come quick. I usually get up at 4:45 to go to work, and then I lay in bed hitting snooze until 5:45 every day.
Yeah, I was late for work yesterday.
Were you really?
Yeah, like an hour.
Oh my God,
Well,
you bring donuts?
Well, I spent 20 minutes. I spent 20 minutes in the dunks line waiting for fucking donuts. So I was even more late, but I brought donuts, so it's okay.
There you go. No, I don't do Flonase. I can't squirt that stuff up my
Flonase?
nose. It feels weird. Yeah, man, like making adjustments just is so all encompassing. It's your colors, it's the size of your presentation, it's the cadence of how fast you're fishing it, it's the cadence of how fast you're changing your positions, your spots. It's are you bottom contact? Are you suspended? Like
This
your
doesn't just go for
attitude.
jigs. This goes for literally all baits, like jerk baits, crank baits, wake baits. I mean, using something with a loud knock, using something that's silent. It goes for every bait out there. Making adjustments.
My wife gives me so much shit because I have so much tackle, and she's like, "Why do you?" And she keeps joking. I go open a tackle shop and sell half your stuff, and you still have plenty. I'm like, no, like I know she's joking, but I'm like, I use all of it at some point. Like I have all my core competencies for fishing, the things I like to do, and the things that maybe I don't necessarily love to do as much, but I'm good at it and I can figure it out. And I have so many variations of all those things, especially my confidence baits. How many jig cases do I have now? What did I say? 5?
I don't.
And that's just skirted
Can't even
jigs.
count
Never
that
mind the other 2 Plano 3700 cases I have and a 3600 case that are just like various jig heads, unskirted. I love jigs. I also have 6 totes that are the size of my keyboard. Just like that. But then, so that would be length and height, and then width is still like about the same as that. Like they're big. 6 of these full of just jig trailers. I have swim baits, I have craws, I have different types of craws, I have like creature style baits, I have hula grubs, and I have every freaking color under the sun for all of them across pretty much every size, especially like excluding swim baits. For everything else, I have 3.5, 4-inch, and 5-inch in every color you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I like to do, and I'm prepared for instances like this. Color means everything, and tell you what, I buy into it. Literally. Hey, Tom. Thank you for joining, buddy. Rob, have a good night. Thank you.
See you, bye.
Yeah, Brendan, I wish shipping costs were never a thing. I wholeheartedly agree. That's usually why when I place orders, they're like 150 to $200 at a pop. Because I buy things that I obviously need now, but also things I know I'm going to need in like a month or two. So just get it all done in one shipping charge. Because shipping through them is ridiculous now. Didn't need that. I got a ton of messages on my phone, but nothing pertaining to the stream, so I didn't want to make sure. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
I got nothing. I don't check my phone.
Yeah, everybody just stops texting.
Don't text me.
I can blow my nose.
Well, I get freaking texts all the time. I'm like, oh my god, leave me alone in my work. Someone calls me, leave me alone. And then like Illinois is calling me for some goddamn reason.
Spam. I should have. I'm just gonna give you my phone for a day. With
I don't want
all the social media notifications on. Your eye will twitch by hour 1.
No, it won't, because it's gonna be closing my freaking toolbox.
My minute 1.
Yeah. Someone's texting me.
Especially in the evening, like my phone blows up. Like if I'm not downstairs, I'm upstairs watching something with the wife. She just looks over at me. It's like, can you please put that on silent? Ding, ba ding, ba ding, ba ding, bong, bong, ba ding. It's nice though. Like it's awesome that people want to reach out like that. So I don't mind.
Right. Because you guys.
Exactly. John, it's impossible to spend less than $100 on a tackle warehouse order. Yeah, pretty much. That's accurate.
So, together 16 pounds was cool for me.
That's awesome, Brendan.
Sweet.
Anytime like your best 5 can go over 15 pounds in New England, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. 3 pound average is pretty freaking good.
Yep.
Yes, and that's just a fun day too.
Yeah.
Catching big fish all day long.
Damn right.
Love doing that.
I don't know. So with everything in mind, either specific to the topic or specific to just the weekend in general, whether it's to the tournament or traveling, Berkshire guys, like how they ran their event, which phenomenal. So I'll just get that out of the way. Wicked nice guys. Where we stayed, like if there's any questions, like hit us like right now. Let us know. Like, I don't know. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you were hoping we would talk about? Now's the time to ask. I gotta blow my nose, man.
Right.
My allergies are killing me.
Blow your dang nose.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna blow my nose. I thought I saw a question up here. Maybe we already saw it. Oh shit. Horrible with these freaking computer things. It was awesome. Just what? Oh, John saying something about Wi-Fi. That's what it was. Yeah, the place we stayed was actually pretty sweet. It was I saw that's what the question was. Someone asked if we had stayed on the water. We were right on the water, like not even 100 feet from Lake St. Catherine. Place was really cool. I forget the name of it. What was the name of the place we stayed at?
Oh, I gotta look it up. I found it on Airbnb.
It's Fern something, I think.
It was actually a really good price. I'm trying to think.
Place was cool. It was definitely really cool. It was like there was, I think the people's house was on the property.
Yes,
and then they had like 4 cabins.
It was like 6.
Really? I
No,
think it was 1, 2.
Well, maybe it was
3,
4. Yeah, I think
4.
you're right.
4 or 5. Ferncliff. But yeah, the place was awesome. Nothing crazy. There was literally no service there.
Ferncliff Camps is what it comes up as.
Fern.
Yeah. That's the cabin we stayed at right there.
Yeah, cherry something.
So John had it right for spelling on Ferncliff. 5 plus the house. There you go. It was a great spot. It was like right on friggin' Lake St. Catherine.
Literally right on it. Like there was a volleyball court or field or whatever the hell you call it between us and the water.
Yeah.
So
it was great. Oh, there you go. John, when you're fishing deep for those smallies, are you seeing them on your sonar or 360? Never on 360. Rarely on 360.
What?
Andrew, actually, you did say that when we were.
I saw one.
I don't know what the hell I was
100%.
doing, but you were up front of the trolling motor.
And I was
you were
watching.
like-
I was casting out, and I was just working my jig back, and I was just staring at the 360, and I saw this mark behind a rock. I'm like, I wonder if that's a fish. And I watched the 360 come back around, and that mark was over like 3 or 4 feet. I was like, oh shit. And then I watched again, and then it was just gone.
Yep.
So it was a fish.
On sonar, 50-50. Like when we're fishing deep like that, I'm either dropping straight down on him. If I see one on my graph, I'll throw a drop shot on his head every time without fail. This year's been really tough for catching me like that, and even actually last year's when it started really getting tough. But when we're fishing deep like that, it's typically using the 360, like mega range, like being able to see 60 feet from the trolling motor in all directions and making long casts to all those points and working it from a distance.
Yep. Like we'll be going along and coming up, you would see a rock pile, be like, oh, there's a rock pile here. And we would just work either, I'll be like, all right, I'll go left side. You go right side because of the way we're coming up to it, or I'll go whatever, vice versa. And we just work rock piles that way, or any structure really that we find, deep grass, like ledge, anything, everything that's down there. If we're going to fish it, that's how we go about it.
Right. Alex's great point. Beds could have been a little stronger. I'll give you that. I mean, like in all fairness, the place was dated, but it was nice. It was comfy, cozy. It was super basic. There was a radio from the 1950s and Wi-Fi. So, you know,
it was a nice heater.
Pack your own entertainment. Yeah, it was actually really nice. Like one of those Mitsubishi like electric units that you put in the wall so you get either heat or AC. Rouge Trader, plenty of boat parking and plug in the boats. I wouldn't say plenty of boat parking, but we did park a 21 foot and a 19.5 foot boat side by side in front of their garage, and they had an outlet right there. So it was a short run from the garage plug to our boats. So it worked.
There was definitely lights, John.
And no,
it was right behind you.
Dude, that was
I sent
the
you
funniest
the video.
thing. John, turn the light. There's no light. Literally right here behind his head. There's a freaking lamp.
Turn the light on.
I could also be less fat too. Well, if the boot doesn't fit. Sorry, Alex. I'm just kidding. Brendan, adding any electronics greatly helps. Being able to know depth, what's down there. Like I got by with just traditional 2D sonar for a long time. I learned a lot.
I had it on my boat and then I took it off and I just stopped using it.
Yeah.
Because the places I'm fishing with my boat, I know very well. So
yeah.
Usually don't need it.
No. You're not drop shotting like vertical, video game fishing on those fish anyway in those pots.
No.
Do you guys use the AquaView? No. John at Wicked Custom Rods has one and he's used it ice fishing. I'd like to get one, but no, we don't currently use it. I'm gonna sneeze. I don't want to.
COVID.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would like to get AquaView, especially for days of scouting. I actually meant to. John was gonna let me borrow it, and I forgot to grab it from the night before I went out because we work with each other, and he offered to meet me in the morning, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna be like past that spot 2 hours before you. What the heck?
What are you doing?
Dude, like I said, I missed my allergy medicine for 2 days this time of the year. I'm screwed. I'll be like this all day tomorrow too. Yeah, there you go, Panda. Kind of thought about getting a deeper sonar for the rental boat to hop on.
Me and Todd did that thing for deeper with on Lunkerville when we were on Lunkerville.
Yeah.
That he gave us a deeper sonar to use ice fishing.
Those things are neat,
and you just hook it right up to your phone.
Yep,
it's pretty sick. And you can just you can literally take the deeper sonar ball, and there's a spot on top. There's an eyelet where you can tie it to a rod, and you can literally cast it out. And then you take your other rod, cast out, and you can see where the hell what you're doing.
Right,
from like 50 feet from the boat. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty mint. Zach, when are you getting live sonar?
When we get enough donations.
That's I can't answer that yet because a lot of that is hinged upon my work situation. I was supposed to be getting a lot more money than I'm getting. I've seen zero of it. It's kind of a problem. It will be addressed eventually. It has to be. I'll leave it at that. So my plan was to get it this winter. Get this extra flow coming in the way it's supposed to be. Take care of some other things first, and then what I want to do is redo my whole boat. So I was going to bring my boat to Steve at Bass Fishing Electronics have them rewire a bunch of stuff. I don't really want to go all lithium, and I still have to ask him. I don't know if I should
so
throw
much money.
100% of everything I own on one lithium battery. I just feel like there's still going to be some interference there, but if it's all being rewired, it may not be an issue. So what I want to do is new 4-bank charger, because I only have a 3-bank, 3 batteries in there, 24-volt trolling motor. Add the 4th battery, split up my graphs from my, like, just split up the overall load of everything I have for electronics in there, because I will then add well, at this point I have 4 graphs. I'll still only have 4, but they're all going to be big. I want to go all 12s, except for the little, Humminbird 5-inch in-dash one. That one stays, because that's got the shoot-through hull transducer, so I can still mark depth when I'm running. And then
2.6 feet.
Yeah, exactly. And then adding in the live target itself, the live scope, like, that's just that much more draw. So there's a lot involved with it. I figured out to get 2 new 16-inch graphs. Sorry, 12s, not 16. Jesus. Maybe I'll do 1/6. No, I'll stick with 12s. Basically, get 3 12s, 1 Helix 12, and then 2 HDS 12 lives, and active target, and everything that goes with it. I'm looking at like $10,000.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but the thing with work actually comes through. Like, it's gonna happen. So I'm like, Adam, get rewired first, then lithium. Yeah,
lithium is just, it's super light. It's super efficient.
That's at this point,
it's super friggin' expensive.
I know, and it's
like $4,500 for 3 batteries.
They've come way down, but it's still like an absurd amount of money. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Lowrance for pretty much everything that I do, except I still am gonna keep making 360. So I'm gonna have that one graph. My nose will not stop running. So I want to do. I keep going back and forth, man.
360 and live up front, and diamond imaging.
Right. So if
you can run the 360 and on a 12-inch screen, you can run the 360 and the down imaging on one screen.
But I can't, because I got a Lowrance Ghost for the trolling motor, so I have to use that.
Yeah,
but
right.
If I go with a 12-inch, and this is the only reason I might go with a 16-inch, is because then I'd have plenty of room where I can dedicate, 3/4 of the screen to all my live, and I'd have a ton of real estate for my live scope, right? And then the other 25% of the screen, I can split it 50-50, where I can have 2D sonar and then my map. And I can have all that on one big screen, and I'm not really losing out on anything. I'm literally doing a split screen between 2D sonar and my map on an HDS7 right now. So going to anything above this is going to be great. And then whatever I do up front for that, I want my Helix to match, just because symmetry is nice. But like going to a 16-inch, like if I decide to go with an HDS 12 or HDS 16, I'm not going to get a freaking Helix 16 for my Mega 360. That's stupid. It would be awesome, but
people do it, and they have those mount that comes right up, so they're literally just like sitting right here in the like standing, and the thing's right here. It's like
too much.
No, not fishing for freaking walleye.
Man, I can't, man. Lowrance's touchscreen is so much better than, and much more cost friendly than Humminbird. Humminbird's customer service is a nightmare. The price difference between a touchscreen setup interlinked with Lowrance versus Humminbird is stupid. Absolutely stupid. And now Lowrance's side imaging is just about on par with Humminbird. So it's like, nah. Would it be nice to have all of the things all the same? Yeah, but I'll set it up however I need to make it all the best of both worlds.
Right. If you get 360 and live and down imaging, we'd pretty much just have all the bases covered.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so how I've always said it is, your side imaging is your 10,000 foot overview, and then the 360 gets you to that 100-foot overview, right? And then your live is your magnifying lens.
Yeah.
So 360, pull up in a spot, right? Side image. Yeah, okay, we got rock piles and points here, 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 and here.
Pull up.
I marked a lot of bait on this one. Let's pull up.
See fish in there?
Ooh, that's not just a point. There's a rock pile here and a rock pile there. Oh, dude, there's a juicy boulder right on the edge of that. Point the live scope at it. There's the boulder. Holy shit, look at that tank. Or, there's nothing there. Okay, point it over there. Nothing over there. Point it over there. ooh, they're all over there. They're not even on anything. They're in between the rock pile and the point. You know, like that combination of things is dangerous in the right hands.
Sure is.
Jacob Wheeler, yeah.
No, I'm not.
No, I won't have the Garmin. He's got. He had all three. I don't know if he still does.
I don't think he does. I think he's all one now.
That was 2 years ago when he went.
Yeah, like
when he had everything. He had Lowrance, Humminbird,
and Garmin.
Because he had Lowrance for 2D sonar because they're still the best. And then I think that's where he had his mapping too. We had Humminbird for the Mega 360, and then he had Garmin for the Live Scope.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Makes sense. When you're at that level, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess if you guys have more questions, we'll keep answering them. By all means,
right.
Go at it.
Like what, 20 minutes?
It's 9:40. We've actually been at this pretty good, John.
Because you don't. What?
We just sent you a picture that he was watching.
Oh, thanks, John. You're right there.
Zach, active target makes it easy to see fish relative to structure and also fish behavior. It's pretty awesome. That last point is the biggest reason why I want it. Like, we have done a lot. We made so much progress in the last couple of years for like better understanding fish behavior, but to see how they react to baits live, more importantly, when they're not biting, like days that it's slow, to be able to actually watch our baits come back and see if there's even fish reacting to it and how close they're getting and all that.
Right.
It's not going to make you catch them, but it just, I feel like with how much we're able to already adjust.
It'll reassure you that that bait is not working at that time.
Right. Or you're really close. You know, if you don't have that kind of active feedback and you're busting your ass throwing stuff all day, only get 2 or 3 fish, like the only thing you have to go off of is the 2 or 3 fish you caught. But if you got active target and you're actually seeing fish either straight up not reacting to something you're throwing, or for hours on end, they're reacting to your bait and they're getting close, but they're never biting it, you would otherwise never know that.
Right.
But that would be a huge piece of information for us, you know? Like,
I mean, it's like using 2D sonar when you're dropping video game fishing, but
right.
It's out in front of you.
Yeah.
And you can literally just point and shoot where you want to video game fish.
Right. And it would also help to identify like all those short strikes I got. We could have confirmed if it was bait fish or if it was a big smallie.
Right.
For all I know, I was just getting trucked by giant perch all day. And I don't know because I didn't hook anything. But if I was able to see that with live scope and be like, oh yeah, okay, there's a bunch of little fish, and then feel that thunk, like, okay, well, now I know, versus look at that mark behind it, look at that mark behind it, and he just kind of comes up and kisses it, you know, screws right off.
Yeah.
And like that's still like, okay, I am close. And now I can understand, I literally got to see why he didn't do it. He was close. Maybe he was tracking it forever, or maybe he just came in out of nowhere and tried to smoke it on the run and then bailed out. Whatever.
Right.
Like any of that information would be hugely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden's baits. I have another question. Are Guggen baits good? I'm not saying this in a dickhead way. I just find it interesting you asked that question.
One of them is.
You have the Guggen logo as your avatar. Every bait is good if it works. How stupid does that sound? It's true though. By what measure do you mean by good? Because to me, a good bait is something that not only works, but has at least a relatively decent amount of longevity to its use.
Mm-hmm.
At
like Z-Man.
a relatively good price point, right? Like Z-Mans are great. They're a little tough, but great value in that bait. A little too stiff in a lot of applications, but in others, they're phenomenal.
Same longevity, like you can literally, they're not going to break on you.
Right. Yamamoto Senkos, right? Some of the best. To an extent, right? They work great. They suck for longevity. They're super soft. So, yeah, they're great because they really do catch fish, but I've got some other brands I can throw that are pretty much just as good that I can get multiple fish out of. Same with some specific drop shot baits that I throw. You know, that's how I measure it by, is it good? If it works, step one. If it works, I don't care what brand it is. I'm going to throw it. But then if it's good, it's like, I've got a couple of baits that I love throwing that absolutely suck. They're good, but they suck because they're only good for one fish at a time, and they're not cheap. So that kind of like, that's annoying. Like, yeah, I love it, but if I can find something that is like 80% as effective, but gets like 2 or 3 times the amount of fish on it before I gotta throw it out, that to me is a better bait, a good bait. I don't know. That's my take on that.
I think it's up to you to determine whether it's a good bait or not, because it's up to you. If you're using it and you like it and you're catching fish on it, it's a good bait.
So, right. And John, Wicked Custom Rods right there. I will say they fall apart quickly. That's the biggest issue I've heard about that brand. And, no different between Yamamoto Senkos or Kitex. Like, they're soft baits. They just fall apart fast. So it comes down, like, for me, good also implies value. So, hard to answer. Loaded question. But if they work, they work. That's all that matters, man. And if they work, then they're good. Carl, what moving baits did you find effective last weekend? None. Dude, we couldn't buy a bite on a freaking moving bait.
I got a crappie with a jerk bait.
I threw the jerk bait for a little bit. I threw the lipless quite a bit. Spinner bait, I got trucked twice.
I got trucked once.
Knocked slack in my line, and I still missed the fish. That doesn't happen.
I threw the Alabama rig. I threw my wake bait. No, not my wake bait. My glide. Threw an underspin. What else moving did I throw? Jerk bait.
Yep. You threw that hair jig. I know it's not a moving bait, but you were swimming it.
Yeah. It didn't. I don't know. There was a lot. There was a lot of moving baits. There was a lot of jigs, a lot of drop shot baits, a lot of freaking everything. We threw literally everything we had on the boat, at least once. Oh, I know where that is.
I forgot to send that to you earlier.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Today.
Is he watching?
Good
job if you're watching. Damn.
Alex, to answer your question, no, I've actually never thrown him yet.
Wait, is that Jake?
Yeah.
That's him?
Yeah.
Nice friggin' fish, dude.
Show him. Oh, I did. I showed him.
That's sick.
No, I've never thrown any Guggen baits. I've never bought any. Everything that I ever thought about wanting to throw that they offer, I have other companies that I've always used before that offer the same thing. So in all fairness, I had a very negative thing against them for a long time, which I've just abandoned that thought process. I just don't give a shit. So if they work, they work. I'm definitely going to throw that thing you were throwing this weekend.
That I threw?
That you threw.
That's
his trailer.
So
stupidest thing in the world.
So
worked great.
I have never bought Guggen baits. I have thrown them because they have been brought onto my boat. And then I was given 4. I gave John, Wicked Custom Rods, I gave him 2 of them. And they worked. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Until they fell apart.
Chat went off fast. Carl, the water temp was 66 both days. Both lakes. 65, 66. Donkey rig. I know I got to throw that. Brendan, have you thrown the glide yet? Insane amount of follows last weekend with it in Maine. Andrew had a giant on Saturday follow his glide bait up to the boat.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was big. I saw just like a big flash behind it. I couldn't tell if it was a largie or a smallie, but it was something. And I freaking stopped throwing it. Like right after that.
Yeah.
After like 5 minutes after that. I don't know why. I shouldn't have.
It's all good. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, Jake, it fell to 62, 63 today. It's trending the right way, buddy. Sunday actually might be okay. I'll check to see if there's a tournament there. Panda, we were actually talking about that on the weekend, using a Senko as a jig trailer, because we were talking about Bacharach, and like that's the thing. I remember you telling me that 1 ounce jig with a 7-inch Senko as a trailer, or the burritos are like the 2 go-to things. That's great. Yeah, see, there. Now catch up the chat. That's how you catch monsters in Mexico.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alex, and the truth comes out.
Well, it was given to me, and it worked.
It did work great, dude. When he broke the second one, when he broke the second one, he's like, "No, Alex!" We almost came over, but I was like, we'll leave him be. They're on it. I don't want to go over there and potentially blow it up so you can get more of those. Now you're just gonna go out and buy some for yourself.
Not gonna do it.
Yeah, you are.
I
Don't
know.
Lie to me. The Bandito bug is a great to use as a trailer too. I have heard that from many people. Our friend Kristen throws them all the time.
They look good. They look real good. They have the trench hog too, which looks equally as good. It almost looks like the Marauder, the Beast Coast Marauder. It's got like the long legs on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
really
yeah. Okay, no, I know which one you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, Aiden, you're gonna have to ask for the chat for those that do throw them. Give Aiden's baits your recommendations on those baits, please. D-bomb. Yep. D-bomb I've heard is good. How was I gonna say? Alex, I don't know if I forget if I told you when we were up there this weekend. So the thing you were catching them on, our friend Kristen caught her PB smallmouth, drop shotting that last year, 6.1 pound smallmouth in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drop shotting that bait that you caught your 4.88 on.
Yeah, that's
wild, right?
That's, by the way, Alex, that is a secret. I didn't tell her to do that, but
that's jerk fishing.
That's jerk fishing. That is jerk fishing.
Jake, as good as those are, they're overrated.
What?
Berkeley accent.
Yeah.
They're good, but
yeah,
overrated by many.
They work. Yeah, they fall apart quick too. They don't have really the best action. They're just mainly made for scent.
That's actually a great point. Going back to are they good, right? Those are good because they catch a lot of fish. They don't hold up for shit.
No, they don't.
So
they just kind of like disintegrate.
They're expensive. Yeah, and they're really expensive. The best baits are those broken soft plastics. I don't know what you mean.
I always take his broken soft plastics and throw them as trailers. I go up on the front deck. I'm like, ooh, that looks good.
Yeah. Which one of the 30 trailers should I pick from?
Should we tell them my trailer that I was using? Not.
No, not the special one, but yeah, the other one. Yeah.
The Beast Coast.
Yeah, dude, it was. So the trailer he was using disintegrated.
So
before you figured out a way to make it work, you were like, I gotta try something else.
Yeah. So I picked up I had the Hustler in Dirtbag, and I threw the 3.5 inch. Are they 3.5 inch or 4 inch?
The flick?
Yeah.
3.65.
A 3.65 inch Magic Flick in the Chronic, and threw that on as a trailer.
And it worked mint.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you caught that big smallie on late in the day.
Yep.
And it was one of many fish he caught. I think you pretty much fished that the rest of the day.
Pretty much that. And then I changed it to the
homemade combo you did?
No.
Okay.
To the Gaio or Gajo.
Oh yeah, the
Gaio.
Gajo.
Which is just like it looks like the X-Zone slammers.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
4 inches long on that. It's a cool bait. Works great on a drop shot.
I don't think I caught anything on it. I think it was too big, too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I shortened it up. No, then I shortened it up to the Magic Flick. That's what it was.
Yeah, you just nipped off the head basically.
Yep.
Shrunk it up.
Gajo.
Gajo.
Gayo.
Out of New York. Okay, yep. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I guess to summarize the whole stream, keep your head in it. Don't let little things get to you. You don't stop grinding until you're literally out of time. Mm-hmm. Both days, we fished right until the very last minute. We came in. I kind of had my battery was getting real tired day 2. So when I turned it on, like it barely turned over. Half my graph shut off. I was like, never mind, let's just go now. So that way, if for any reason we need to, we still have time to jump if we need to. So we came in a couple minutes early, but day 1, we were the second to last boat in. We cut it right down to the final second. Dude, you gotta grind when it comes to tournaments. Mm-hmm. Don't let a lost fish here, short strikes there, broken off fish, dropped 5-pounders, any of that get to you, because you just got to maintain focus. You're out there to try and win, right? Like Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. Keep adjusting. Make every single adjustment you can to figure out what the hell it takes. Sean,
I read it.
Make small adjustments. If you're absolutely confident that you can go out there and you're going to catch them on jigs, then I don't care if you've got 2 other rods that are like really not ideal for it. Just tie them on those and tie on different variations. And then that way you could either go one of 2 ways of that. You've got 3 really close, like subtle differences between the 3. Those are your adjustments. Or 3 drastically different ones. And those are your major adjustments. But whatever. And then you can make small adjustments between those 3 drastically different ones. Just keep adjusting. Pay attention to everything that's going on. Every fish you catch, remember everything you did. If you're lucky and you have a spot lock, punch that thing as soon as you hook the fish. Do you remember where you cast? Do you remember what you were doing? What was your cadence? Whole 9 yards. Put it all together and continue to make those adjustments until you nail it down, and then run that lake for every last square inch that it has to maximize what you figured out and put fish in the boat.
Pretty freaking much. Don't give up. Don't give up until that clock strikes 0.
Right.
Or until you got to run back and make it on time.
Right. Then there's that. In the great words of Randy
Don't be
Marsh,
late.
I didn't hear no bell. Don't stop grinding.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do after grinding for 8 hours, 9 hours, however long the tournaments are, don't be late to the weigh-in.
Oh God, no! Don't ever be late. That's the worst.
You just waste your entire day. You waste money. You waste everything.
Cover water. Don't. To further elaborate on it, don't get hung up on one thing, man. Mike Iaconelli, never give up. I said that multiple times this weekend.
Never give up.
Never.
Screaming.
I don't even know what I was talking about. You're out there for 8 hours. You don't give up after 4. You don't call it quits at 6. You fish it until it's over, and you either got a good sacker to go in with, or you got nothing, and you can walk away. And that's the thing. Like I was annoyed. I wasn't mad, but I was definitely annoyed when we left. It's like, what the hell did we miss? Because that's what I always do. I always analyze things when we leave. But we talked about it. And I was like, dude, we literally left it all out there.
Yeah, we literally threw everything we had in every depth,
in every color.
in every color,
We tried
every shore.
all but one area of the lake, which we tried to go to, and the wind and the waves were horrific. And I was like, we're not gonna be able to hold here because it was late in the day. My battery was starting to get tired. So,
Where that? Oh yeah.
yes, you can jumpstart the battery that way. Yeah,
Hey, we've done it.
we covered water, man. We covered 9 different spots, but like huge areas, overall 9 spots. There's only 2 sections of the lake we didn't get to. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just keep going, keep grinding, keep trying different things. Think outside the box. He was like, this is a stupid idea. He actually didn't say it. He's like, I have an idea. And he put it on. And he looks at me and he gave me that look like this is a stupid idea. But I'm like, that's stupid. But it's probably going to work.
I was like, yeah, I do stupid shit all the time. It's probably going to work. And it did.
That's part of the adjustments too, right? I'm going to do something drastic because it makes sense on paper. We got nothing to lose. Keep going at it, man. I don't know. I'm going to keep repeating myself, so I don't want to stop.
Sure, we haven't mentioned
Blade baits in a
blade
while.
bait. We will get to that. Not this episode, but
Very soon.
very soon.
It's something I don't have like a ton of confidence in. Like I do and I don't. I've done really well with them, but it's like my window of confidence for blade baits is very, very narrow. And that's like strictly a cold bar thing for me. I know plenty of guys that talk about them all the time and they hammer fish on them literally year round. Even right now, they'll work and they'll work great. So, but it's not, I don't like talking about things like that until we're closer to that window of where like, yeah, that's something I do and I'm really confident in these conditions. I try to keep it, everything we discussed, a lot more current to where we are at the time of the year.
People still fish them all year long. Alex was fishing it.
Yep. Dennis caught a good one on it
Mm-hmm.
a couple days before we were there.
It's getting to that time, but it's not yet. It's still got it. For my confidence to use a blade bait is never. But if I'm gonna throw it, it's gonna
Ice
be when
cold.
it's freezing, like there's ice forming at the bottom end of the lake,
Right.
or we're at the top of the lake.
Aiden's baits. I don't know what to tell you about the bluegill. I've never targeted him.
Throw worms. Or actually, if you want to do that,
or something teeny tiny.
yeah, throw a little like ice fishing jig.
Yep.
Down on top of them.
Micro size baits.
Yep.
Really, really light stuff. Panda, no. I actually no, I take that back. I have tried some jigging spoons. I think I only caught one fish on it so far.
I want to get some jigging spoons.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I
really
do want to
bad.
expand on them. Nice. Yeah, Alex got a 4.62 on day one of blade bait. There you go. Water's not even that cold at all. It's actually still really warm.
Right.
It can be done. It's just it's not the time of the year where I would typically throw it, so I'm not going to discuss it yet. Carl, crazy question. Thoughts on playing tunes fairly soft on the boat while you're fishing? I've got a buddy who always does, and he catches plenty of fish. I always think it would scare fish.
No,
No music. I don't do it.
I mean, we don't. But
I don't.
I have music in my boat. Like I got speakers and everything in my boat, and I still catch fish. I usually don't play music on it, but when I do, like I have like a friend or someone who doesn't really fish that often or fish at all, and they're just kind of hanging out, I have music playing and I'm still catching fish.
Yeah.
With Paul that day, I caught that 5.3 on with music in playing on the boat.
I don't think it matters at all. Just for me, my entire life when I'm not on the water is just constant noise between the type of office I work in and then young kids, editing when when I'm actually at home and the kids are finally asleep and stuff. Like it's just all noise. So like the only times I have quiet, my drive into work or home. And although lately I've been listening to a couple of new podcasts that I'm like really hyped on. So I haven't been driving home in as much silence, but when I'm on the water, if we're not talking, I don't want any noise. Nothing. I appreciate the silence.
Panda, what you said, that being said, I think for trophy fishing, less noise is best. If you read the comment right above you, he caught a 5-1 smallie today blasting music.
I got the fish jam music 40 foot down, doesn't matter. And it's funny too, because like it's all in what you're confident in. Like confidence in what you're doing comes like above logic in a lot of cases too. And I'm not saying one answer is more logical than the other because I don't have the information to back that up. One of our buddies, his dad was a marshal on the Bassmaster Elites the last year that Kevin Van Dam was fishing it.
Yep.
Up on Champlain, and he drew Kevin Van Dam for day 2. And I was asking him about it when he came back, and he was like, it was a great experience, yada, 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 elaborating. He's like, he's a guy, like, for anybody that knows KVD for like what he does aside from fishing, the dude's big on hunting. Hunting, you're gonna be dead quiet. I don't hunt, but that's what everybody tells me.
Yeah, dead quiet.
He takes that same mentality, excuse me, what he's confident in, to fishing. So our buddy's dad, at one point, it was kind of late in the day. Like I think it was the St. Lawrence River. It was the event before that. Kevin Van Dam did really good. He had to have a strong finish on this to get Angler of the Year, but it was the year that Polinick killed it, and Polinick won Angler of the Year. And Kevin Van Dam was struggling on Champlain. Our buddy's dad was out there with him. He's looking through the boat. He's like admiring. He's like, man, this is like a beautiful nitro. He lifted up the locker in between the seats and went to go put it down quietly, and it slipped out of his fingers a couple inches up, and it came down just kind of like not super loud, but real loud. Apparently KVD was like, what are you doing? What are you doing back there? You gotta be quiet, man. We can't spook these fish. Not like in a dickhead way, but like genuinely concerned, like like they were staring at a friggin' 8-point buck
Right.
30 yards out and they were gonna spook it. I'm having a hard time today. So it's what you're confident in. I don't know how else I want to put that. I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters. I mean, if you have a problem with it, don't play music. Like, I know a lot of people get that when they fish, they drink or they smoke. I don't do either when I'm fishing. I don't drink anyway, but
I don't even drink water.
right?
I do nothing. I do literally nothing. I'm out there to fish.
I know. I'm out there and like my stomach's pissed at me because I'm starving. I'm like, all right, I'll take like a minute, 30 seconds, and I'll shove something down my throat and then keep going.
They were talking about that recently on the Merrimack Valley Bass Anglers Facebook group, one of the tournaments we fish in every once in a while. And Barry asked that question about stop and eat while you're fishing. And I was like, yeah, I never do. And it kind of spawned this little conversation like, how do you do that? And Barry posed it as like, I don't understand. We are literally out there throwing food to the fish to feed them so they will eat and we will catch them. How do you not do that for the same thing as you? Short answer is I'm built different. Real answer. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I literally do not get hungry. I have fished from like 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Never felt hungry, not once.
I do that when I don't get thirsty until I start getting lightheaded because I'm like dehydrated and about to die.
Yeah, dehydration is different, but yeah, then like, totally different story. As soon as I get in the truck, we're 10 minutes down the road, I'm like, oh my God, I'm starving. And all of a sudden I feel the complete lack of energy because I didn't give my body anything for the last 24 hours at that point.
Oh man, I'm getting a little woozy here. I should probably eat or drink something.
Turning off your electronics, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I do that. If we're fishing mega shallow and they're not even any benefit to me, I'll turn them off.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys do it. You don't eat. I have to have something. We stop at the store and I come out with like 2 bags of shit every time.
Like he's at the grocery store, but he's coming out of a convenience store with $30 for the junk food. I'm ready to get me to lunch. Where we stop on the way home?
I got a sub, 2 bags of chips, a candy bar, a protein shake, a protein bar,
He's
2 monsters, a water,
It's like a hobbit. I had breakfast, second breakfast, early lunch, late lunch,
supper, dinner,
supper, dinner. After supper, dessert, and finally a nightcap.
Yeah.
Aiden's Bates, you're very welcome, buddy. Thank you for stopping in the stream. Appreciate it, man. That's the only thing. I've gotten a lot better about water intake when I'm on the lake now. I will usually bring at least a liter of water. If it's gonna be really warm, like I'll bring a gallon, and I'll drink water on hot days. But if it's moderate out, I usually drink 2 monsters on the boat.
Yeah, it's usually what we
one
at least
on the
have
lake.
4 monsters on the boat at all times.
I have 1 on the way, and then I buy 2 on the road, and I have 1 more when I get to the lake, and I have 1 more when we're getting off the lake. So, I don't know. You know what? It's 10:07 at this point. Stream's gone on plenty long enough. I greatly appreciate everybody that comes in to watch these streams. Thank you very much for the donation we got earlier tonight. Hugely appreciative. For $25 in the next goal, we're going to bust out some new GoPros for the boat and go to a higher frame rate, the same resolution, so that our slow-mos get a lot better. It's going to be great.
Yep.
Can
you stop the stream from here?
We're going to find out. We're going to see if I set up the start and stop button on the stream deck is going to work great. For those that are still here that haven't done it yet, please like the stream. For anybody that's still watching this just from YouTube, when you get to this point, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. If there's something we didn't address, you want an answer for, I check the comments all the time. Leave a comment, please. Other than that, I don't know. Was there anything else?
I don't think so.
All in all, very good weekend. Had a lot of fun. Beyond proud of how much we kept our heads in it. We rallied. We came back, jumped up from 12th to 7th out of 21 boats. Was it 21 or 22? I think it was 21.
I think 22 signed up, but only 21 showed.
Yes.
I think that's what it was.
And we did it with a solid bag of smallies at the end of the day. Congrats again to DJ and Alex for finishing 4th in the tournament, getting their money back. Always good. And Alex especially on your new PB Smallie. What a tank.
That was sick.
That was awesome.
Yep.
So, all right, man.
Well,
signing off. We're going to try this.
We're going to try it. If it doesn't work, we're going to be sitting here for a couple
It's going to be awkward as I have to get up and go over there to kill it. But
like always, we'll be here next week. Same time, same place. 8 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Tell your friends, your family, your moms.
Share it around Facebook, Instagrams, the Twitters, all this stuff.
Everything always.
All the socials.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Weekend. Have a good week. See ya. It didn't work.
Give it a second. Well, we got a delay here. Wait for it. I don't think it worked.
No, it didn't work. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.